Yo, people, and welcome to Goal Global's Qatar 2002 World Cup draw watch along. It's myself, Culture Cams, and I'm joined today with my co-host Pete. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, Culture Cams.
Yeah, you can call me Culture Cams on here. But listen, guys, first and foremost, write down where you are watching this from. I want to know what nations are inside. It is a World Cup, so I expect to see nations from all over the place. And if you're Nigerian, if you're Italian, Egyptian, you can still put your flags in there. It doesn't matter, even if you're not gonna be there. It's all good. I feel the same way as a Nigerian. Don't worry about that. But Pete, I can see you've got the island flag in your name. Well,
Yeah.
Ireland's not there. Are you still representing?
Look, any tournament you go to, you're going to see Ireland flags. Irish people just tend to, book the travel as soon as the venues are announced, and then whether they qualify or not, they still go. I can guarantee there'll be loads of Irish people at the World Cup in Qatar, just like there are no matter what tournament we're going to. We haven't qualified for a World Cup since 2002. There's a full generation of people who love, the session, who have completely missed out and now past their prime. It's a terrible shame.
Looking at the comments, I can see that there's all types of nations: Argentina, Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, India, Jamaica, United Kingdom, that's Mexico. We are
I just see somebody from Ghana commenting, Cam.
Ghana, hey,
what do you think of that?
Nah, I'm messing around. You guys can come in as well. Maybe we're not on good terms at the moment, but we move. I see Egyptians in here, Brazilians, so we're well represented. It's definitely going to be a fun stream. But let's get into some of the topics about what is actually going on in this World Cup. Of course, it's going to be in Qatar. Middle of the season. It's the middle of the season. This is the first time in my lifetime, definitely, that there's been a World Cup in the middle of the season. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, you say you're a Nigeria fan, so you're used to having tournaments interrupt the season and with the Africa Cup of Nations. So it's strange for people who I suppose follow European teams, European national teams, to see something like this happen. But all around the world, and the Asian Cup as well, international teams have always had to get around the problem of scheduling, in countries and in continents where it's just not feasible to host in the middle of the summer. We've always had tournaments in January and February. So I don't think it'll be too strange for a lot of the sides that are coming to the World Cup. But I think sometimes, a lot of people seem to adopt sort of a Eurocentric point of view, don't they? And particularly a Premier League point of view. It's like if it's not front and center with the Premier League, then a lot of people, sometimes get turned off by that and they think, wow, how strange. But, most of the world is probably used to having a tournament at this time of the year. So not too strange for them. A bit of a hiatus needed in the Premier League. But that's a very busy period of the season. And some might argue, in the Premier League in particular, not a lot of the games are watchable around that Christmas time because they come thick and fast. Teams are playing like every 48 hours. There's a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of COVID over the last couple of seasons as well. So not everybody is able to get, it's a grind. Not everybody is able to get their best teams out all the time. So I think it'll be a welcome break, if I'm honest. And for the people who are traveling, the supporters who are traveling as well, wouldn't it be great to get away from Europe for a few days in the middle of winter when it's snowing, raining, so cold, so dark, and you can go somewhere where you can just, chill out and enjoy the sunshine?
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think about Qatar as hosts? Because from what I'm seeing, the facilities and stuff that they got planned and that's in the works, it looks absolutely unreal at the moment. Like this might be like the most high-tech World Cup we've ever had. So how do you feel about Qatar as the host nation?
Well, I think it's a really, having such a small country host the World Cup could probably go two ways. I actually think it'll be fine. All the stadiums will be really close together. All the team training camps will be really close together. We know that for the knockouts, for example, they haven't already scheduled the pathways because they'll be able to be so nimble, I suppose, and adapt closer to the time to say, okay, it's best to send these teams here because, the fans can get up to that stadium so easily, whatever. So I do think it's a good idea having it in a country so small. I've been to the last two World Cups in Brazil and in Russia, and that's two massive countries. And I know, and in Russia, they had it just sort of on the European side of Russia rather than over the Urals as well. But Brazil is like as big as a continent. Russia is as big as a continent. And journey times, sometimes it would take teams a full day, just to get to the next stadium. That's not always ideal. At least the teams and the players will know that, no matter what happens after any group stage game, they can just be, sort of back in the hotel, back in the training camp, within sort of an hour or two after the final whistle. I think the coaches in particular will really be fond of that. What they don't want is, like in the Euros, all of a sudden you're playing in Azerbaijan, and then you're flying back and it's the middle of the night. Your next match is in Wales 2 days later, and you got to stop off in Belgium on the way there. That doesn't make any sense. So I do think having it nice and tight is probably a good idea.
So just to whet the appetite of everybody, I want everyone to send in who they believe is going to actually win the tournament. Who is the favorites walking into the tournament? And don't just say the country that you represent. Who is the actual favorites for this tournament? So, Pete, I'm going to ask you.
I was going to ask you.
You're going to ask me. I
was going to ask you. You never get to give your opinion. You're the one that's always asking the questions. I bet, you'd like to be interviewed yourself sometimes.
I'm very undecided at the moment. There's some top nations. Argentina haven't lost a game in like 22 games. They're the Copa America winners. Brazil, officially #1 nation in the world.
Since yesterday,
England got to a semis, got to a final. France, they're the holders. There's so many countries at the moment that I think are in a good space. But I'm going so hard. But you know what? I'm going to go with... I've got a sneaky feeling for Brazil. It's been 20 years since 2002, since they last won it.
Yeah.
Neymar's legacy. I mean, I'm going to speak to Mateus later from Goal Brazil, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah. Later, we'll get into all the teams in depth.
Yeah. But I'm leaning towards Brazil at this present moment. But of course, hopefully it comes home, It's coming up. Hey, I need to sing that one more time. You know what I mean? But Pete, who you got?
Well, I think the two big South American heavyweights are probably as good now as they have been for a World Cup in a long time. I don't think I've seen an Argentina and Brazil team together be so strong coming into a World Cup as I see them now. To be honest, I think Brazil's, I know we'll get into it with Mateus, but Brazil's attacking talent is a joke. It's a joke. And even if they're missing one or two players with suspension and injuries, we'll get into the names a bit later on, but I just love their attacking talent. And they've got a bit of solidity through that midfield as well. Argentina, it seems that Scaloni, former West Ham right back Scaloni, has got like a culture shift going at Argentina. Messi is so happy, like he's getting whistled off the field. In Paris, nobody wants him there. And yet he plays for Argentina and he's feeling that warm embrace. And you would never have predicted that earlier on in his career for Messi. It was always like the Argentina fans were the ones saying, "Oh, well, he's Catalan. We don't care whether he plays for us or not." Maradona's the guy. Exactly.
Like yeah, exactly.
And look at it now; it's come full circle. His club fans don't want to know. They would happily rip up his contract at Paris Saint-Germain. I think the fans would, if they got the opportunity. He's sort of, he's half-hearted playing for Paris. Not like he was for Barcelona. And Argentina is actually, where his passion lies right now. And you could see that, I saw some of the footage from Buenos Aires in the Bombonera the other week. I think he got a couple of assists. He may have scored as well. But it was just beautiful to see the reception that he got. It feels like Argentina 100% wholeheartedly has accepted Messi as their guy. And that's manifesting itself in the way he's playing his football. I love watching Messi playing for Argentina at the minute.
Since you mentioned Messi, and I know there's so many Messi fans in here. And of course, whenever you mention Messi, you got to mention CR7 as well.
The other guy.
Are walking in to their 5th and possibly final World Cup. We know we've seen their prime for 15 years. We know they're both maybe not to what they used to be, but they're still impactful players.
Yeah.
What do you think about Ronaldo's chances of potentially bowing out with a World Cup?
With a World Cup title?
Mm-hmm.
Portugal really, really disappointed me at the Euros. I thought they were capable of so much more. I actually thought on a talent base, I thought they had a better squad in 2021. Yeah, Euro 2020, but it was in 2021.
Yeah.
I actually thought they had a better squad this time than they did in the Euros that they actually won. So for me, it was a bit of a disappointment to see how they ended up playing. But I think man for man, especially the way the likes of, Bernardo Silva is playing and Ronaldo is a really good goal scorer. There's some really good emerging talents there as well in the Portugal squad too. I think among the European teams, I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Obviously, it depends on the draw and the pathways that they face, but we saw Ronaldo during the summer last year. Even if the Portugal team isn't firing, he still ends up top scorer. And I don't think that it's beyond him to score, 4 or 5 goals again and get them through some really tight ties in the group stage and end up in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. I think Portugal, they probably benefit from more attacking coach. I know it's too late to make that change now, but I think Santos was great for them. They could sit back. They had Pepe, Jose Font, and all these guys who could really resist. And then it was left sort of to Ronaldo, Nani, Quaresma, my all-time favorite Quaresma. It was left to those guys to carry out a counter-attack. But now I think they've got more attacking players, great attacking talent. João Felix is there as well. I mentioned Bernardo Silva. Matheus Nunes for Sporting. They've got some great talent, and I think the time has come to evolve the team to become more of a dominant sort of Guardiola type team. And I don't think they've made that particular step forward. But great talent for me, the Portuguese team.
Let's bring in a few of our contributors from different nations. So we've got Taha that I want to bring in, representing the Arab nations. How are you, mate? We've got
all fine.
Leon representing Germany. We've got David, who's going to be representing France, and we got Mateus, who's representing Brazil. So to be fair, there's a few very strong nations that are being brought in here. I'm going to start with you, David, with France. I'm going to start with you as the holders. I'm going to give you that respect. I'm going to give you that respect to start and set pace. France are the holders. Had a very disappointing Euros. We have to be honest. It was very, very disappointing compared to what people expected. Can France go back to back and rectify that pretty much of a disaster Euros?
I'm gonna tell you, the back to back is coming. It's coming. Bring us anyone. It can be Germany, Brazil, Argentina. Y'all been blah 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 chatting about everything. We in there, and we're in there, and who's in there in the squad? Who's up front? We got Benzema, we got Griezmann, we got Mbappe. Since the last Euro, progression going through the roof is insane. The back to back is coming. Like I ain't scared of anything. Like literally, I'm telling you.
You seem super, super confident, but that same confidence you would have had walking into the Euro 2020. You would have had the same confidence, and it didn't quite work out. Benzema came back. Giroud wasn't there. Everyone was like, that means it's coming again, and it backfired. So what makes you so confident other than just the names that you've reeled off?
Let me tell you why. So the Euros, literally defense absent. We had no defense. Everybody was injured. If you see the game against Switzerland, Clément Lenglet played his first game, got out at halftime, and then we just played with Kimpembe and Varane, who was really already a little bit injured. On the wing, we had Rabiot and Pavard, who did a disastrous class on this side. I don't want to see Pavard no more. I can't lie. Thank you for the kick in 2018, but your time is over now. Literally, the defense wasn't there. That's why we lost. And Benzema literally got into the squad. He was still fresh, they were still learning how to play together. But now, now they had time to build chemistry. It's all about chemistry. We have chemistry. You can put Benzema there. You can put Giroud there. You can put Mbappe there. We got Jonathan Klaus now that's better than Pavard. We even got some Marseille player in there now. Guendouzi is there. Saliba is there as a backup. So now we have backup in defense. So we're way more stronger than the Euros and we're more confident. We're good.
So would you say the feeling in France? What's the feeling at the moment in France? Does everyone share your sentiment? Do people think it's going to be definitely a back-to-back? What is the feeling out there in France?
The feeling in France is just pure confidence. It's pure confidence. Like we know what we got on the cheek. We know what we got in the squad, and we've been watching like the friendlies and all the games that all the new players that got put into the squad. And every time the new players come into it, he just plays super fire. Saliba was there playing fire. Like Jonathan Klaus, literally that guy is from Lens. just got there randomly because he's so good, and it was so good. It was amazing. So the way we're feeling right now is like, okay, who's gonna be there in the draw? Who's gonna be able to stop us? We don't know. We're just waiting to see. And we holders anyway, so we know the vibe already.
Fair enough. There's people in the comments, they're asking a lot of questions as to why have we got someone that has the Irish flag in their name. What are Ireland doing here? They're getting a lot of questions. Pete, what are you gonna say about that?
I can't help where I'm from, you know. I gotta put my colors out there. I could never conduct this under another flag. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. And let's move on to Taha.
Can we talk? Do you mind if I just talk to David about France at the moment? Is that okay, Cam? David,
come on.
David, France always seems to me it's like the culture of a club rather than an international. Like an international team, they seem really confident with one another. They seem like a really close-knit group. Do you think that's vital? You know, in terms of the makeup of the French team, do you think that's important that there's a really, really nice culture among all the players and under that particular coach as well?
It's very important, very, very important. Because I remember back in the day, like Euro 2016 or around that times, when all of those new French players like were booming, like they were like, "Whoa, these guys are amazing!" Blah blah blah. For example, let's take the example of Payet. Payet made the squad in 2016 because he did well on the last friendly game before the Euros. Why? Because Didier Deschamps' mentality is like, I have this squad. Whatever they do in their club, this is my squad because they are a family. They're a group. They banter together. They have fun together. And they're always just, it's always the group. The group is the most important. So now, with the new players and the new people, everything, you can see that they're getting quite along together. So that group, that mentality of group of family, is super important, and that's why we're gonna win it again.
Yeah, you could see it the other day when Pogba turned up for international duty, and he asked Mbappe, "How are things in Paris?" and he said, "I'm fed up." It's like he was happy to be with France rather than being with Paris.
France is freedom. You can see Pogba. Pogba can play the football he wants in France.
Yeah,
it's so amazing. He can go run around, shoot from everywhere. Pogba, lovely, lovely. They care about each other. Literally, they care about each other. That's why. That's the main difference. Yeah.
Joshua Estrada says France will be shocked because of this mentality. Because of the mentality that you have, the overconfidence, you will be in for a surprise. What is your final words to somebody that says that to you?
Okay, my final word is simple. We, the fans, are confident. We, the fans, we know. We believe in our players. We believe in our people. They don't let us down. We believe in them. Yeah? So maybe for us, it's going to be bad, but not for the team, because the team is not thinking like that. The team is very humble, very calm, taking game by game, doing what they have to do, playing their football. That's it. The rest is on us. Don't blame them. It's on us.
Definitely good luck to you guys. But again, as I said, Taha, welcome to the show. Of course, thanks for coming along.
Thanks, mate.
I just want to ask you, for people that don't know too much about Qatar as an actual football team, what can we expect from them?
Well, for the Qatari national team, I think it's a team that has been playing together for now more than 8 years. They are the winner of the Asian Cup in 2019, and then they played in the qualifiers of the European qualifiers. They played in South African, South American competitions also. So they've got some experience so far playing together. And also the coach, their current coach, they worked with them since young ages. He was working the Aspire Academy, and then he knows the players since their early age. So we can say that the current Qatari team is might be the surprise of the tournament. I'm not saying they will be winning the title, of course, but they are really a strong team. They have some good names, and they, as a group, they surprised all of us during the Asian Cup. Like the way they won it, the way they played the same. I think Felix, as he is Spanish, he brought up this tiki-taka mentality, and they play really good football. What's lacking them, I think, no one is playing at top football. Like mainly all of them are playing in the Qatari league. So when they face teams with I think bigger players, bigger names, bigger experience, then I think they are having some problems. But other than that, I think they are, as a group, they are compact and they are a good team.
Nice. And of course, as this is the first kind of like tournament out in Qatar, of course, and what does this mean for the people in Qatari, like having a World Cup come to Qatar? What does it mean to the people out there?
I think that's a very big thing. This is really a dream coming true. Like, if you see, Qatar now is preparing for that for more than 10 years. They have been preparing every day and working hard to make something big. And I think many people would be surprised while being in Qatar. Like, the facilities there, everything is surprising. I was there during the Arab Cup for 1 week, and believe me, I was in Brazil, I was in Russia. I expect that in terms of high technology, in terms of facilities, to be one of the best World Cups in history. So people are very proud. They want to also. This is also an opportunity for Qatari people to present their culture, because it's for many of European and Occidental people, it's an unknown culture. So it's also even through the stadiums. So, for example, you will be going to Al Bayt Stadium. The stadium itself is like an old building, an old Qatari building. So we'll be getting to know the culture even through the stadiums themselves.
Nice. And I see the Moroccan flag in your name. You guys had a nice qualification, beating Congo. It was, for a little second, it was a little bit of a scare, but you guys handled the business in the second leg. What can we expect from Morocco? Can they surprise a few people?
Morocco, I think this is the first time in my life I'm seeing Morocco qualifying to the World Cup while people are not happy. There are many problems, yes, inside the Moroccan national team, especially with the coach, Vaid Halilovic. I think Karim, who is French, he knows Vaid Halilovic very well. He is a pretty problematic coach. So, for example, he's not counting on Hakim Ziyech anymore. He's not counting on Mazraoui anymore, the one who will be joining Barcelona next year. And also the way the Moroccan national team is playing is not convincing many. I think we were quite lucky during the qualifications, because we played almost all games at home. The 6 games during the groups, we played them at home, because some nations, I think, couldn't host the games at their homes because of problems, because their stadiums were not qualified by FIFA. And then we got Congo in the decisive game. We all know that Congo was maybe not the toughest opponent. So yes, the team has some very interesting names. You are speaking about Hakimi, about Roman Saiss, who is playing on Wolverhampton, Nesiri, Bono playing in really big teams. But the way we are playing, also we are lacking in some places on the field. For example, in the midfield, we don't have big names. So I'm not really expecting better than we have done in 2018, where we had really a better coach, Hervé Renard, and way better players.
I'm sure we're all looking forward to Qatar as host, but we've got so much Iranian representation in the comments. I can see just so much Iran flags just flooding the comments. I know there's a little bit, there's rumors going around about what might happen with Iran at the moment, but what can we expect from Iran as a nation in the World Cup?
Iran is when you speak about the Asian, it's one of the biggest teams. I think they lost Carlos Queiroz, which gave them this stability, which gave them this identity in the last years. We have seen them playing at a really high level and competing even in the last World Cup. I think they had their chances till the last minutes to qualify to the second round. For now, I think they lost many of their experienced players. It's a new generation with many new talents. In the qualifiers, they did okay. They were not the best, but they did okay. And I think it all will depend on the group they will be playing in. Iran now is a young team, much younger than we know, if you compare it to 2018. And I think if they are in an affordable group, they can make a surprise.
Nice one. Thank you, Ty. Have you got any questions, Pete? Anything like that? I'm about to get to Brasilia.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I think Qatar is a very interesting team for me, because they've not had to, well, they haven't had to go through the qualification phase, but they've had a lot of competitive games, and anybody who's watched sort of American football, North American and South American football over the past few years, as well as the Arab Cup, they've had loads of tournament practice, and they did quite well in those tournaments in America as well, Taha, didn't they?
Yes, they did well. They did well. Even in the Arab Cup, they really played the big games, and they lost in the last, really very last minutes against Algeria. Algeria, which is a disappointment for all of us in the Arab world, that they are not qualifying to the World Cup. But I think this is a really important point. They are, since 2019, they started preparing for the World Cup, and most importantly, I think the group is really compact. Like, they know each other. They have really some really good talents, but the only thing that might be missing is that weekly high top level football. They are not, Qatari league is not that big, and you can see that when the rhythm is a bit higher than they are used to, then they suffer a bit. Other than that, I think they are a compact team, a strong team, and they can surprise many big teams.
Yeah, I think so. They've almost played everything. So they played the Concacaf, they played the Copa America, they played Arab Cup, and they also played the
Arab Cup.
obviously the Asian Cup as well.
Yes.
So they've been, and in the European qualifying campaign, they played as the sort of shadow team in the group with 3 teams as well, or 4 teams as well. So I mean, that's incredible. And plus, I think they almost manage it like a club side, because Felix has been the coach of these guys since they were children, more or less.
Yes.
That's why I think you're right. I think the Qatar team will end up surprising a lot of people if they get a kind group. So if they don't get one of the big fish in the second and third pots, I think Qatar will probably qualify for the knockout rounds.
No,
I do think so too.
So let's move on to Brazil. Listen, when you think about a World Cup, I think Brazil are the only nation to have made every World Cup. Like, there's always been some that's missed one. Brazil have been in every World Cup since the beginning of time. How much pressure is there on Brazil to deliver? As I said, it's been 20 years. I'm saying 20 years. Who would have thought that when you had R9, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, we thought it was all going to just be every time it'll be Brazil. What is is there pressure coming from the Brazilian people on this team?
Hey guys, yeah, definitely that is. I mean, you have to represent well the country that had Pele and Garrincha and all those amazing players from the past, and from the recent past, like Ronaldo, like Romario. But I feel like, and that is a topic that I wanted to bring to the discussion here, that there's always too much drama around the Brazilian team and Neymar, and always if you come back like a few years before, like 2010, Neymar was 18, and people were discussing why isn't he brought up to the World Cup back in South Africa, and then 2014, all the emotions of hosting a World Cup, and then Neymar's injury.
You know how that ended up.
Yeah, and then 2018, all the same thing again. And will Neymar be fit to play well and lead Brazil to the World Cup, and all the drama? And now it seems like we are somehow past that, and Neymar himself knows now that Brazil can win titles without having him. Like, we won the Copa America back in 2019. He wasn't there. I think that was really like a wake-up call to, for him, like, well, I'm not as indispensable as I thought I was, maybe. And also for the other players in Brazil, like, everybody's always relying on Neymar, but you're a Brazilian, man. You know how to play football, good football. You can win things. So we are now, I feel like we're now more centered and focused to at least compete this time. Like, I feel like if you get like the the time when we were knocked out by Belgium,
Yeah.
people used to joke in Brazil like, "Oh, so this is the talented Belgium generation that can't win anything,"
Hmm.
and we had our ass kicked by them.
Yeah.
So um,
I
yeah,
mean, Brazil at the moment, you would say, are arguably one of the best nations in the world. I mean, I know you lost in the Copa America final. I felt like that whole final had a weird vibe. It's like they just wanted to give the trophy to Messi. It was super weird. I don't know what was going on over there, but you guys have one of the best teams in the world at the moment going into this tournament. Do you think that Brazil will do it this time? I've got you as favorites. I mean, you're a
yeah. No, I mean you can't write off Brazil. I don't think you will ever be able to write us off. But again, it's it's summed up to keeping all the drama out and focusing and uh, our coach Chichi now he's under some scrutiny to bring up a stronger squad than he brought back in 2018 when he brought like injured players to train and to be options um, for a team that has to be competing strongly for to win the sixth world title. Um, and there's the whole thing of will Neymar play his last World Cup?
yeah,
Will other players play their last World Cup like Thiago Silva, probably Dani Alves?
yeah,
Um, I think we can do it this time, but again, it's all about not respecting our opponents and knowing that uh, you can't only bring the yellow shirt and think you're going to win and steamroll off over the competition, you know. So it's more for me like a matter of focusing and again keeping the drama out. It's too much drama
yeah.
every 4 years. It's too much drama uh, for a country that, as you said again, managed to win when everybody was writing us off back in 2002.
Mm.
So we have to rise up to the occasion, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, drama follows. I know you've mentioned Neymar a few times, but drama follows Neymar wherever he goes. But
Yeah.
what what will this do for his legacy? We're talking about Neymar if he wins this tournament. I mean, the great Brazilians always win a World Cup. Ronaldinho, R9, Kaká. I mean, Pele. We can go back years, years, years. Is there an external pressure for Neymar to win this? Are the Brazilian people saying, listen, if you want to sit in this Hall of Fame, if you want to be that legend, you have to bring home the big one.
I think so. I mean, for me, Neymar is already, um, despite what happens, he's already in the Hall of Fame of the greatest in Brazil for everything he's done at international level, at European level, what he achieved for Santos here. But um, there's the matter of how he wants people to love him too, you know, and there's a lot of people that are still waiting and demanding that he performs greatly at international level too. He just won one title back in 2013 with the Confederations Cup and then the gold medal in Rio, but there's still the feeling that he needs to deliver more. He needs to at least shows that he. I think he does care a lot. He loves playing for Brazil, but you have to have like the confirmation that I love you so much that I will bring you the World Cup, and I will be sitting alongside Pele and Ronaldo and all those great guys. So there's this feeling that people will unanimously love him and embrace him as a Brazilian icon if he wins the World Cup. Yeah, I think there's this, but at the same time, there's I feel like he's finally more mature after all the drama that we've been talking about here. For what's happening in Brazil, for what's happening in PSG too, over the last few years. So yeah, there's this feeling that he needs to deliver the World Cup. I personally don't feel like he will play his last World Cup, even if he doesn't win. I don't quite get that, but yes, I think he is pressuring himself to deliver and to bring it home. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's hope Brazil bring that samba feeling to Qatar. But just gonna move on to Leon from our Germany team. Leon,
Hey.
new manager. You know, Hansi Flick is in charge. It was Joachim Löw, and we know how that ended. It wasn't too great after a really good time actually. As Germany manager, there's a kind of a new kind of vibes that's going on at Germany. Like, you know, some young players coming through. It seems like you're battering teams as well, scoring a lot of goals. Are you walking into this tournament a lot more confident? Are the German people walking in a lot more confident than they did in 2018?
Well, I want that fifth star for starters.
Okay.
But I don't think.
Well,
I'm changing my mind every week. You know, it's mixed feelings. Obviously, Hansi Flick. I think you couldn't have found someone better to make that change that is about to approach for Germany. Under Joachim Löw, especially before the Euros, there was a feeling among some players that the training lacked maybe some intensity. And those who know Flick know that intensity is not something he's lacking at all. He was part of the World Cup winning training staff in 2014, so that says a lot. And some actually saw him as the secret reason for the team to have the success that they did. And then at Bayern, we all know what he did there. He's showering in trophies. So I'm sure that success will come with him. But if that happens already in the World Cup, and to what extent, there are obviously a lot of factors that play in, but the chance of success increased, I think, a lot by naming him the Bundestrainer. Mm-hmm. And if they can do it, as I said, I'm changing my mind every week because we have some world-class players with Thomas Müller, with Kai Havertz, who scored the Champions League final goal. But we also have a lot of young players who stand for this change, but I'm not sure are quite ready yet. Especially the defense with David Raum, who was playing the last few games, and I'm changing everything.
Very, very indecisive. You're on the fence at the moment. But Pete, what do you think when you look at the Germany team? How do you feel about them, considering what they were like in 2018 to this new kind of Hansi Flick revolution kind of?
I think they've got their swagger back to an extent. You know, I think we always expect the Germans to play with a certain, self-confidence that they expect to win matches when they play them. I don't think they had that in the last couple of tournaments. They looked. I was at the game where they're beaten by Mexico in the World Cup in Moscow, and it didn't feel like a Germany team, you know, and that really did feel like it brought down the curtain on an era. And I know that Joachim Löw stuck around probably a little bit too long in the end after that, but that to me was the end. That was the end of that team. That was the end of that era, and he should have moved on. However, I do think that they have replenished over the last 2-3 years really, really well. I like the players. I like the style. There's still some experienced heads in there as well. He mentioned David Raum there as well. It's like that left back spot is like England's left wing spot during the 1990s. It's just like they can never really fill it with somebody who's consistent. But elsewhere, I think they're fantastic. You know, you talk about world-class players like Havertz, Joshua Kimmich, Toni Kroos. I don't need to name them all out for you, but I think they've got really, really good pace and good options up front as well. Gnabry, Leroy Sané's had a pretty good season as well. And I don't think any of the second or any of the non-seeded teams will fancy playing Germany at all. I think they'll click into gear. And crucially, Hansi Flick, he's probably too good for international football. You know, you're talking about a coach he's a world-class coach who took Bayern to every trophy on offer. And then he goes and manages the Germany team. And you never really get that caliber of coach in international football. You never really get like a world-class club coach coaching an international team when he should be coaching a club team. And that's what you have with Hansi Flick. And I think he can, you know, I think his expertise, sort of the brains of the operation, if you were, going back to Joachim Löw's days, I think they could be really, really effective at this World Cup. Leon, who do you think's going to be? Oh, no, carry on. Tell me what you're going to say.
I want to say that's the part of the mixed feelings, because in Germany, I think we know that we have an incredible offense, but defensively maybe lagging some experience. But because Hansi Flick is the coach, I think there's so much more confidence, and maybe this little glimmer of hope that we can maybe do it already in 2022. Just because he is such an incredible coach, and what he did at Bayern Munich when he started there. It was meant to be for a few games, and then he beat Dortmund in his first game 4-0, and everyone was like, "I think he should do this full time." Yeah. And then he won everything, and Löw stayed, I think, too long as well, but it was the right time for him to step down now that Hansi Flick could take the job, and I think that's a very big factor. Also, in which group Germany will end up if they if they are drawn into a later group, they have maybe 2 or 3 more training days with Hansi Flick, and this can be a very big impact on how the style is going to play, how quickly the players can adapt to his playing style, and start into the tournament.
Is there a question mark for you who can be sort of that number 9, that leading goal scorer for Germany? I think they've lacked that over the last few tournaments as well. I know that Werner is sort of playing to the wing almost. He's not really a central striker. Havertz is more like a 9.5. Do they have a killer nowadays?
I think we're too versatile to predict that, because we have 3-4 players who can play up front. Like we can play up front with Havertz, we can play up front with Thomas Müller, with Werner, of course. There are 3 brilliant players who bring something different to the table, and depending on who is playing up front, we have someone different playing on the 10, in the midfield. Maybe Musiala is playing on the 10, or Havertz, or Müller, who's such a different player to everyone else. So Müller you have to always keep in mind. But I think Timo Werner is going to be very interesting, because we don't know if he is going to stay at Chelsea or if he is going to return to Germany. So he wants to show himself, obviously, to potential clubs who want to sign him. Same for Rüdiger as well, but in the defensive way. So my pick is Thomas Müller, because it's Thomas Müller. But the rest, Sané as well, from the wing. He's playing a brilliant season at Bayern. Yeah. So
he's recovered really now, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's recovered.
Nice one. Thanks a lot, Leon and Mateus, for joining us as well. Gonna bring in some contributors from other nations. Let's get in a bit of Spain, a bit of England, a bit of the Dutch team, and a bit of Argentina. A lot of favorites in this little bunch over here. Welcome, guys. Thanks a lot for coming in and joining us. Guys, in the comments, make sure you're still sending us questions, because we will answer as many as we possibly can.
Naz has gone for the Morocco flag as well. You notice?
Oh yeah.
It's a modern world. We've got dual nationalities going on.
Since you've spoken, let's start with you. Naz. England. You know what it's like every single tournament England walk into. The pressure is insane. Of course, I'm in London myself, but from what you can hear, what is the feeling going into this tournament for England? We know there's so much talk going on with Gareth Southgate and the boos and blah blah blah, but what is the feeling going into the tournament?
England are always confident, kind of in a drunk, arrogant kind of way. But this time we have a reason to be confident, don't we? So that's kind of the feeling. I think that there's always that sort of fear that hangs over you as an England supporter. What's going to go wrong? Is somebody going to get sent off like David Beckham did? Is a referee going to make a crazy decision against you, like when Frank Lampard scored against Germany? You just have all these memories of pain, disappointment, and all that. But you've got to be hopeful, haven't you, with the players that England have got? I mean, these guys are playing Champions League finals. There's some of the best young players in the world. I mean, we have Next Gen as a brand under goal, and Jude Bellingham just won Next Gen. So, we've got the best young player in the world here. So I think that England are in a bit of a funny place where we're always confident, sometimes a bit too confident than we should be. But now we kind of do have a reason to be confident, don't we, Cams?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you get to when you get to a Euro final, and you went 1-0 up as well, maybe tactically it didn't work out so much after the goal, but then you also got to a semi-final in the World Cup. What's the next hurdle? It means you got to lift the trophy, right? I mean, you've broken down those barriers, so now it's finally time for England to win something since 1966. Who knows? I think it's a very talented generation, but again, as England fan as well, there's always just that little feeling inside of you where you're like, something is gonna happen. Like England are gonna bottle it, or you just don't know with England. But I'll be singing "It's Coming Home" all tournament, no doubt about that. I know I will. But with the players that England have, who would you say is the star man for England? Because of course the obvious names might be Harry Kane or anything like that, but we saw in the Euros, Raheem Sterling stepped up, and we've seen Maguire, John Stones, like these players have turned up. Who would you say going into the tournament at the moment is that guy to carry kind of the nation?
Yeah, Cams. I think that for me, it's just Harry Kane. There's no one else. I think that, if England lose a player to injury, it can't be Harry Kane, man. He is deadly. He is a great number 10. He's a great number 9. He's just a complete striker, and he's the leader of this group. I think that he's the guy that the players respect. If there's a penalty, he's going to score it. And you know what England are like with penalties? Absolutely terrified. But Harry Kane, he doesn't carry that baggage. So I think that England build a team around Kane. But like you said, I mean, the attack is just ridiculous. I was actually picking my squad. I know you got a question later about what squad I would pick. But yeah, just picking the attack is absolutely ridiculous hard. But I think for me, you build the team around Kane. I think also centre-backs, I think that would be my worry. Maguire and Stones have got to be the centre-backs, really, that England build around. It's not because the others aren't good. Like, I really love Tomori. Ben White is coming through pretty strong at Arsenal. But you need experience in these tournaments. You need guys who've done it before. So, yeah, I know Maguire got booed at Wembley, and that's another thing England have hanging over him. The fans can sometimes cause more problems than they solve. But Maguire is a huge player for England as well. That the positions that can't be changed is centre-back and striker. And then around that, we've got great fullbacks, no problem. Centre mid, it's okay. But I do believe that a lot of these guys are getting better. You're talking Bellingham, increasingly you put him in. Rice going from strength to strength. Yeah. Phillips as well. Interesting to see what happens with him this summer. And then attack, you're not worrying at all. You're not worrying for goals. You're not worrying for assists. So for me, it's just Kane and the centre-backs. You've got to wrap in cotton wool.
I can still see. I mean, with England, what comes with England is it's up and down with the fans and even opposing fans. Everyone wants England to fail. I can see in the comments, Giles Suarez says England is the almost team. Jesus Benitez says England are overrated. What does England have to do to finally put that to bed? Like, what is it going to take to win this tournament, though, Naz?
I think England needs to shake off their history, the history of failure, the heavy shirt, even the style of football. We talk about the golden generation from the late 90s and early 2000s, with David Beckham in, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand. They were great players. They were world class. They were in Champions League finals, winning games, competing with Messi, playing alongside Ronaldo. But the problem is we played 4-4-2. We didn't trust our players technically on the ball. And you know, we're playing dinosaur football. Now, I think England are moving on to another era now, an era where we can be confident technically. We can keep possession against the Spain. We can try and, you know, manage the ball well in big games. You know, it happened against Germany very successfully in the Euros there. That was a big moment, I think. And I think that they need to be more confident in the technique. You know, we have the best academies in the country. Phil Foden, ridiculous player technically. You know, Jadon Sancho as well. The Chelsea academy boys, really well trained. Liverpool have a great academy. Spurs do. All these players are being brought up the right way. They're playing football in cages, you know, in East London. I live in East London, and they're playing in tiny little spaces, but they manage the ball really well. So we need to trust that new image of England, you know, and the technically gifted England. And that's why we've been knocked out of a lot of finals and semi-finals, you know. England played in 3 semi-finals and 1 final recently. They went, you know, a goal up against Croatia in 2018. They also went a goal up against Netherlands in 2019 in the Nations League. And again, and then what do they do? 10 men behind the ball, goal up, 10 men behind the ball. We'll go old school. 10 men behind the ball, kick it long. No, manage the ball, keep possession, dominate the game, go for the second. And that's where England needs to change. That's where Southgate needs to step up as well, because game management is the last thing missing from England. They've got the ability, they've got the goals, they've got superstars all over the pitch. Just need to get that game management right, get that mentality right, and get that tactical coaching right as well. So for me, that's the last step.
So we got a comment here from Scythe0791. He says, England has great players, does not know how to use them accordingly. Don't know why England don't use them accordingly. And when you touched on the previous generation, you know, the Gerrards, the Lampards, Scholes and all them, that is basically what has happened with them. But would you say this team is better than the dubbed golden generation?
Yeah, I would. The golden generation missed 2 things, and I think Pete mentioned it earlier. One of them, the left winger. You know, there was no left footer on that side, was there? Paul Scholes hanging out there, playing out of position. You put one of the best players in the world out of position. And then you had the goalkeepers, you know, were a bit up and down. Paul Robinson and David James, for me, weren't at the level that you need. I think Pickford's better than those, but again, maybe not world class, but still strong goalkeeper. So I think that's what we're missing from the golden generation. Now you look at the England squad now, and in the 11, full strength, for me, absolutely fine. Not a weakness. I wouldn't be worried about any position at all. You know, if there's a few injuries, maybe you start to get problems in centre mid, centre back, but that's what makes me feel like, you know, that the current England squad is better than the golden generation. This is now the golden generation.
Hey, you heard it here from Naz. So if England don't win it, I'm coming back to you to say, you said it's the golden generation. Give me answers, please. Pete, what's your take on England? Be nice to us, you know, be kind. What is your take on the England team at the moment? And what can English fans expect from England?
England are too good for the bad teams and not good enough for the great teams. That's the issue that they have. They're that team that they're caught right between it. They're going to go and, you know, beat those countries they're expected to beat in qualification, and then they don't have enough match practice. They haven't sparred enough when it becomes time to face a really good country at a major finals. I know that the Germany match that they played in the Euros was a big hurdle that they got over, but that wasn't a vintage Germany. And if Thomas Muller puts that ball into the empty goal, England go out. Let's be perfectly honest. And for me, question marks tactically. I know we spoke to Leon about the quality that Hansi Flick has as a coach. Southgate doesn't have that. He doesn't have the pedigree as a senior coach. You know, I think he took Middlesbrough down 10 years ago. He's not the guy. Certainly not the guy that I would entrust with this so-called golden generation of players. So for me, you know, England, it's like the Cricket World Cup in 2019 where they just got over the line. The ball hits Ben Stokes on the hand and then all of a sudden they get a 4. And, you know, all these crazy things have to happen for England to get over the line. And I think it's going to be the same thing. Their own self-confidence is not going to propel them over the line. Something crazy is going to have to happen for England to win this World Cup for me.
We got a comment from Kwasi Yaboa, and he says the coach is the problem, and that's basically just echoing what you said about Southgate. I mean, Naz and Pete, anyone that wants to answer this one. England haven't reached this far when they had good managers, so you can say like the better names than a Gareth Southgate. But England have gotten further with Gareth Southgate. But do you think he just still lacks that, that tactical nous?
For me, I think he deserves credit. He's been a unifying figure. He's like sort of brought together a divided country. And he's so
Nelson Mandela was as well. I'm not going to put him in charge of the South Africa team,
He justified England, though. England's, you always had the United guys and the City guys fighting, and the Liverpool guys, and they all hated each other. But now they like being together, so the culture is there. I do think what Pete said, there is that like final question mark, but also you've got to say there's not many Hansi Flicks in international football. These managers are not the best of the best. He's not against Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel, and Jurgen Klopp. He's against Hansi Flick and a lot of pretty, average managers. So for me, it could be enough to get over the line. And I like the fact that he goes defensive and solid and just says, screw you to the rest of the English public. Everyone wants 2 attacking number 8s, like brilliant forwards, just throw all the attacking players on. But I like the fact he goes rock solid. And I think the plan A is very good. So plan A wise, England have it spot on. But plan B, they don't often make the right decisions when, the match is moving in a certain direction. You've got to do something. That's where I think Southgate struggles.
Let's move on from England, because English media are so loud. We're going to probably hear about England, every single step of the way until then. I'm going to move on to Callum, representing the Netherlands.
Hi there.
Louis, you're right, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Nice show.
Yeah. Louis van Gaal is back. And we saw what he did with the Dutch team in 2014.
Yeah.
I don't think, for me personally, I wouldn't say it's the greatest Dutch side I've ever seen.
No, I must agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. But is there maybe with Van Gaal, is there like maybe in amongst the Dutch people, is there maybe like a feeling that he can maybe bring some glory?
Well, first of all, let me say how sorry I am for the Italians not being there. I just wanted to say that, because if one country is missing this World Cup, it's Italy. I'm sorry, guys.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
And Ireland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there are plenty. But for me, Italy, I miss this gesture, man. I'm gonna miss this gesture. But with Louis van Gaal as a head coach, we have some different experience, because in 2002 we failed to qualify for the World Cup while he was in charge. However, in 2014, he managed to reach the semifinals with mostly young players, and most of them are also active in a domestic league. So who can remember Bruno Martins Indy from Feyenoord?
He played for Stoke as well.
Sorry?
He played for Stoke in the Premier League, remember?
Yeah. Okay. So English guys probably will remember him. So I can't really tell. We're all hoping Van Gaal is gonna surprise again. At least he does with his funny press conference these days. So that's a news to our team. But it's tough to say.
So of course Holland haven't won a trophy. I have to remind you, Holland have not won a trophy since 1988.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Yeah, that was before I was born. I mean, is there pressure that comes, with the Dutch team? Like, is there actually an external pressure that, like, come on, like, you got to bring us something?
Well, we may have the appearance to be arrogant, but when it comes to sport, we all know we don't deliver when we have to. You all remember the 1-0 defeat in 2010 against Spain, and that made it even worse. So, nowadays also we're lacking big players too, especially some good strikers. So for us, it's not something that we're hoping for a title or something. If we can get through the group phase, that's everybody would cheer for that.
You're just happy to be back at a World Cup, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. So we missed out the Euros, and it was a huge disaster. It was a mentality problem, of course, with the Dutch players. Also, there is not the connection between the fans and the Dutch players nowadays, because they. With Van Dijk, with Wijnaldum, not everybody likes those lads. So,
really? How come?
No, they yeah, it's about the media appearances that they don't like the fans. There's some booing. People want them to make statements they didn't want to make. Also about Qatar, of course, and
Okay.
the Dutch players said, "No, we're going to distance from that." Yeah, there was a lot of skepticism about the Dutch national team, also because of the results of the latest years.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bond isn't that well. So everybody is like, yeah, well, we're going to see.
Would you say that the
I
Netherlands
feel
are
sorry, Cam. I feel sorry a little bit for the players getting criticised for playing in Qatar, because if the match is in Qatar, you have to go to Qatar. If the match is in Brazil, you have to go to Brazil. If the match is in England, you have to go to England. I mean, what do they expect the players to do?
Yeah, so everybody's saying, like, I don't know if in the rest of the world, but they say we should ban Qatar and we shouldn't go, actually, probably because we have a shit. We have a very bad team. Sorry, it's common to swear in Dutch. But our team isn't that great. Let's put it in that way. So, but I fully agree with you, Peter, on this.
Yeah.
I also know that you. So, would you say the Netherlands are potentially in that box where you have the favorites, the Brazils, the Argentinas, and stuff? Would you say they're just underneath that, maybe in that kind of dark horse kind of category, or would you say you're above a dark horse kind of tag?
If I'm honest, I don't. Dark horse isn't the title that suits the Dutch at the moment, because we were struggling also in the group phase in the qualification round against Turkey, against Montenegro. It wasn't all that good. So you missed the chemistry. We played a 1-1. We draw against the Germans, which for us was like a big surprise. We did well against Denmark. So it's like up and down, up and down. I think it all depends. It's all depending on the players standing up. Like the average players are gonna be great, like in 2014, of course. Much in
and there's no question mark over the manager going into the World Cup. Van Gaal will still be the manager by the time the World Cup comes around.
Yeah. So with Koeman, of course, because that was a head coach, the players had a big connection. The crowd was loving him. So then, when of course everybody know that he left to Barcelona, then we had Frank de Boer, who's the worst head coach in the Dutch history, I reckon. So
and in Premier League history, as Jose Mourinho pointed out in the press conference.
Yes, he did very bad in the Italian league. It's crazy. It's crazy. So so now we have Louis van Gaal. We were begging him to get back. And
everybody loves him now. Everybody loves Van Gaal. He's like the grandfather of international football. Everybody loves Van Gaal. I think everybody will want to see Van Gaal do well at this tournament. They love him.
So that's the thing. So he's in our favor, and he's funny. He's crazy. He can say stupid stuff, and everybody's still laughing about it. It's like a cult thing, maybe, which is he did really good things, but I think probably the same thing as with you in England. How you remember him at this time at United.
Yeah. Alex Lemon in the comments said, this is just a slow way of saying the Netherlands are just not good enough. So I know, Callum, you also have a strong connection with the Belgium national team as well.
Yeah.
I'll ask you one question about Belgium. Is this the last dance in Michael Jordan terms? Is this the last dance for this golden generation for Belgium? I'm talking, remember there was that Hazard and Lukaku and KDB, and then they had Kompany and Dembele, but they've all phased out now. Now you've got maybe this three-headed horse with those three players that I just mentioned. Is this the final hurdle for them?
I think so. Yeah. Last week I was in Belgium and I talked with a lot of fans from the Belgium side, and they also shared the same opinion that the last Euros should have been their tournament, and now it all depends on the form of the players. Now De Bruyne has a tough season, but he has some nice peaks. But I think they're just over the hill at the moment. So if you were talking about dark horse, I'd say Belgium is a dark horse because they obviously have good players, but it's not like 2 years ago or maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the draw is about to soon get going. I know they like to do the whole talks and blah, 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 blah before it.
You need to get Shakira out and,
Yeah. They're going to show us the ball and all of that type of stuff that we've already seen. But again, everyone keep dropping your flags in the comments. I can see them all. a lot of people are still going on about Brazil beating Germany all the way them years ago. They will never let them live that moment down.
No.
Bruno F
says
says
infamy.
Belgium. Bruno F says Belgium is overrated since 2014, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree. I agree with that. I think that was a lot of Premier League bias, but we move. Nacho representing Argentina for us. Now, I want to hear what you have to say about Argentina, because this is probably the first time since potentially even Maradona days. I don't even think Maradona days they thought they were going to win the World Cup. It was kind of a carry job. This is probably the first time you're going in there as arguably the best team in the world. With Messi on his final tournament and the pressure that comes with just having a player like Messi, do you feel in Argentina that people are expecting this time instead of being hopeful?
I mean, it's weird because everyone is expecting us, or at least you guys, to do well in the World Cup. I think we fans are confident. We know we have a good team, but I'm not sure we're 100% sure that we are going to be able to win the World Cup, because I think in the last couple of years we haven't really faced a strong, at least European team. So all our matches, of course, were in South America mainly. We've done really well. We won the Copa America against Brazil, in Brazil. So that's a good game, of course. But I think that at the moment, especially after losing the final in 2014 and making a mess in the last World Cup, I think that fans now, we are actually enjoying, because the team is playing well. Messi is playing well and he's happy. Everyone's happy. There's such a good environment. Lots of ex-players also working together with a coach. So I just believe that the environment, the atmosphere is amazing, and we are all really enjoying. We want to win the World Cup, of course we do, but I don't think we are 100% confident, just because we haven't had that test yet against a really strong European team. But we are confident, yeah, not 100%, maybe 80 something, I would say, but not 100% as you are, at least.
I'm seeing already, as soon as you mention Argentina, everyone's going to talk about Lionel Messi. Everything is going to be about Messi, as he deserves after his career. You feel, what are you expecting from Messi this tournament? Because he's having such a disappointing time at PSG, but do you think maybe, as I said again, the last dance, do you think he can just have that final bow out to his career where, he just goes and wins it? He had the opportunity in 2014. He had that big chance. Some say he bottled it. No comment. I'm not gonna say too much over there. But what do you think? What are you expecting from Messi? Can he do it?
I think you can tell in the last year or so how much he's enjoying it, because he always has, but lately he's been asking for the ball a lot more. He's been trying to dribble a lot more, whereas in 2014, for example, he was more like a team player. So now he's doing what he likes, and sometimes I think, in my opinion, he'd made some mistakes trying to play the ball on his own instead of passing or assisting. But you can see how he really wants to show. I don't think he wants to show anyone, because he already knows, but he wants to say, hey, this is my last World Cup. This is my last time with the national team. I just want to enjoy. I just want to have fun. I want to win, yes. But I think that we can expect from him that, being a captain, first of all, as he is, I think this is going to be his last World Cup, definitely. So I think he just want to leave a legacy and enjoy overall. He knows that if he doesn't win, he's still going to be the best player in history, maybe. And I think we are not putting that pressure on the team anymore, that they have to win a World Cup, especially after losing 3 finals in a row in 3 years. I think we just said, okay, guys, if you win, amazing. If you don't, it is what it is. That's the feeling I have. And we were quite the opposite in 2014, 15, 16. Like, you have to win, otherwise you're going to be kicked out of the country or something like that. But I think now,
come home.
Yeah. But I think now there's no pressure on the team anymore, because they are doing so well. And again, the vibes, the atmosphere is something we haven't felt for years. Not even 2014, because we're not expecting them to make it to the final, to be honest.
We have had a comment from Raphael G. He says, Lionel Messi, stand up. Come to the stage, big man. Let's talk. Diego Maradona delivered Argentina a World Cup. Can Messi do the same?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't sound
definitely.
too confident about that.
I mean, he can. I mean, he can definitely. But I think that we also have a good team now, so we are not that Messi dependent as we were a couple of years ago. So I think we are more of a team now. Because again, comparing it to the last two World Cups, I think we had better players back then. Aguero, Higuain, Mascherano, those were big names. Now we have good players, of course, but I think they're not as important in European football as they were before. So I think now we are more of a team, which for a World Cup, if you're in a good shape, that's amazing. But if you're a good team in a World Cup and something happens, I don't know, injuries, whatever, that can be a problem. If you know what I mean. If you lose one or two key players when you're a good team instead of just names, that can lead to a problem, I think. But I'm confident. I am confident, definitely.
Pete, what do you think about the Argentina setup at the moment? I know the draw is getting going. Jermaine Genius is in there. I don't know how he snuck in there, but what do you think about the Argentina team?
I think the big difference for me for Argentina these days is they've got a world-class goalkeeper, and I don't think they've had that for about. Well, I can't remember Argentina's last world-class goalkeeper, if I'm honest. I think Emi Martinez has made a huge difference there. Not only is he a great shot stopper, but also psychologically. I think that we saw that in the Copa America last year, where he was actually psyching out penalty takers against Colombia. And it must give players like Messi, huge confidence to know that even if they are under pressure and they start conceding a few chances, that they've got somebody who can really rescue them, pluck crosses out of the sky from corner kicks, save free kicks, save penalties. And I think that's made a huge difference. And I think the establishment of Christian Romero as well has been a big one for Argentina too. Maybe it's because Scaloni is a defender himself, I don't know. But he seems to be getting the best out of Romero, even though he's a relatively inexperienced player at international level. So although the star names aren't there really for Argentina around Messi like they used to be, I think the better balance in the maybe in the squad. There's still a few gaps. I don't trust their fullbacks, but I do think that from midfield going forward, I think they've got some really good talent. Rodrigo de Paul, for example, Di Maria. I know he's quite a bit older now, but he's still a good player. Paredes I think is a fantastic player for Paris Saint-Germain. And then you've got the establishment of Julian Alvarez up front as well. So there's some signs of life for Argentina. And like I say, even though the star names aren't as profound as they were in the past, I do think that there's a better balance within the team. Nacho, tell me that I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right. And actually, I was going to say that we have something different as we had a couple of years ago. Where Messi, for example, in Barcelona, he was playing really well. And then in Argentina, he wasn't that good. Now it's the other way around. With Messi, with Di Maria, with Paredes, with some other players. At their teams, they do okay. But when they play together in the national team, they just improve somehow. That's that feeling I was talking about. And you're right about the goalkeeper. I think having a good goalkeeper is something we didn't have in the last World Cup, like swapping goalkeepers in the middle of the tournament. That wasn't what at all. And I think that Martinez and Romero in 2014, it's really important to have a good goalkeeper and people trust him. Again, it's all about trust and how we feel about him. I would say, as you as well, that our weakest line is defense, maybe. But again, it's not something to worry about, I think, at this point, because you need to have weakness on some of the lines. But I think we will do okay in that area, as long as they practice. Not me, of course, but as long as they work on it. I think having good strikers and a good midfield, that can be something to not to worry too much about.
Thanks a lot, Nacho, for your insight on Argentina. And we're just going to move on to the final one before we get into watching the draw. Jorge from Spain, our Spanish team. I feel like Spain are in such a good position at the moment in terms of you're one of the winners in the last decade, one of the most recent winners. You've had such a great side that we've seen in the past. You're now building a new team, with Pedri, Gavi, and, a lot of young players in there. Is there even any pressure? Like, you got Luis Enrique in charge. Is there like any, pressure on the Spanish team coming from the Spanish people? You're on mute, by the way, just in case.
No. Hi guys. First of all, thank you for the invitation. Well, I think there's no pressure. I think there are more illusion than pressure around this team because, as you said, there are a lot of players, young players that will play his first World Cup, maybe his second big tournament. They will do it. They done it really well at the last Euros, reaching the semifinals, playing against a good Italy that become champions after that. So I think there's no a lot of pressure. There is illusion. There is a little bit to lose because we don't have a team with top players, but we have a really good team. We are in a similar position with Argentina. I was here in Nacho now, and I think Spain have without Messi, of course, but a really similar team with young players, with a good connection between them, with a really good coach that give them the tools to win games and to play really well. Luis Enrique is a coach that knows really well how to train that technical players, that offensive players. And I think we go to Qatar with illusion, with expectation too of what this team can do. We don't really know what Spain can do. So let's see. I think we can compete against any team, but we don't have that top players that give us the level to be in the favorites or in the first national teams around the world.
Jorge, I just wanted to ask you a question about Luis Enrique. Like, does anybody know what 11 he's going to choose at the World Cup? Because it seems like he's picked like 50 players to play for Spain over the last 2 years. Sure. He doesn't have a settled 11. He like swaps somebody in and swaps somebody out all the time. Do you think that'll be a problem coming towards the World Cup as well?
That would be a problem for him because he has to choose, and that's not easy. As you said, you have like 40, 50, maybe 60 players. He will he can take to the World Cup. You have players like Fabián Ruiz, like Canales, like Pablo Fornals, like Reguilón that are not being convocated for him. I don't know why. He have of course his idea, and he prefers players like Gaya or but I think it's really good for him to have 50 players that can tell you that the level is really good. The level in the Spanish league is getting higher because you have a really good young players that are keeping up. But of course, that when Qatar comes, when you are in October, September, he will have to choose. Let's see what happens because there are a lot of players. And I think he have more or less the 23, 22 players that for sure will be there, but I think 25 or 26 think that they will be in the list. So for sure there will be surprises, and there will be players that think now that they will be in Qatar, and then they will not.
Mm-hmm.
With I know you mentioned Luis Enrique. Are you 100% confident he's going to be in charge by the World Cup? You know, he's linked with Manchester United and
100%.
He's not going to jump ship.
No. Well, in press conference, I don't know if it was before Iceland match or after Iceland match. He confirmed that he will be at Qatar. There's no other possibility. So, well, it's his word. It's a promise of him. So I think he will be for sure in Qatar. Then let's see, because I think it's a young coach that for sure he wants to coach a great team. For sure he will have good offers for top teams in the Premier League, in La Liga. People talk about Manchester United, about Chelsea, about Atletico de Madrid. For sure he.
You're all good.
You're there. We got you.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. I can see you, but okay. As I said, he for sure will have good offers, good teams. He's young. I don't know if he has 46 or 45, so he will have a really long career. And I think maybe after the World Cup, maybe he could leave the national team and try in a good team, in a Champions League team, to take new challenge. But for sure, in Qatar, he will be there. He will be with Spain, so I don't have any doubt about it.
Nice, and I think the draw is it's just getting, well, it's not started yet, but they're just letting everyone know with what's going on with the rules, etc. But just a final question for Spain. It's such a team. It looks like such a team effort at the moment, like without any kind of like standout player. Is there someone that maybe you could let us know that you think is going to have like a dominant tournament, a top tournament? Because I remember in the Euros, Busquets had an amazing tournament, and you didn't expect him to do that because you thought maybe he's on his way out. Pedri was the young player of the tournament. Is there someone that we maybe need to keep an eye out in the Spanish team?
Well, as I said before, the first or the strong point of this national team is it works like a team. Everyone is important and everyone goes well. I think Pedri is for sure the best player of the team. He's really good taking the ball. He's really good assisting. He's really good doing what Luis Enrique wants. So I think Pedri will be the different one. But if you have to ask me about maybe a surprise or a player that could do it really well, I think Ferran is in a really good fit. He's playing really good at Barcelona. Maybe he's not having a lot of luck scoring goals, but he's a player that always run for the team, always generate good opportunities for the Spanish team and for Barcelona. And I think he could be a different player for that kind of matches that maybe I don't know, between against France or Argentina. Maybe Ferran could make the difference and take Spain to another level.
Jorge, can I just ask you one more question, Jorge? I know that there's such a huge identification between the Spain national team and Real Madrid, and you as the Real Madrid correspondent. Could we see for another tournament no Real Madrid players in a Spanish squad for a major tournament?
For sure. Let's see. If Carvajal is fit, he will be there because Luis Enrique is really confident with him. He's for sure one of the best right backs in the Spanish football. And I think that if Carvajal is fit, he will be there. But the other ones, you can see Asensio or you can see Nacho. I don't know. That don't have too much opportunities of being there. Or Real Madrid signs a Spanish player from the Spanish selection this summer, or for sure just Carvajal or maybe another player could be. I think Carvajal for sure if he's fit, and let's see if Real Madrid signs another Spanish player.
So it looks like the draw has started. We have Qatar in Group A, you got England in Group B, and so far those are the only ones that have been drawn out.
Argentina Group C, Cam.
Argentina Group C. Okay. Argentina. I wonder who is going to get that group of death. You know what I mean? There's always that one group. Anyone can come. Everyone can come off mic. Anyone can come, but I wonder who that team is going to be that gets that group. You know what I mean? There's always one group that's like nobody wants to.
And then there's always like a dead group where nobody cares, isn't there?
Yeah. There's always one. It's
quite hard to have a death group. I think with how the pots are, to be honest.
Germany's in pot 2, so that's
Germany.
I'd love to be in the group A indeed already.
I have a question for you. What team did you prefer, or do you prefer for your team? Germany or Uruguay?
Uruguay, definitely. They are not in a good shape.
Uruguay rolled, aren't they? That's the thing. So
they've got some really good young players, though. Now, like that Nunez up front looks great. He's going to be fantastic.
And they are always really competitive in this kind of tournament.
Yeah.
England's had some problems with Uruguay before. Yeah, they've got the Barcelona centre back as well, haven't they? Araujo, however you pronounce it.
Yeah,
Araujo, yeah.
He's on his way out, apparently.
I like him too. I think he's a good player. Yeah. But
as
for
long
such a
as the
small country, small population, they do so well bringing players through. It's unbelievable.
It's like Croatia in England, in the European stakes, isn't it? Croatia's a tiny country, does so well.
Yeah.
France are in Group D. Spain are in Group E.
Is anybody writing this down? We're going to have to talk about it.
Yeah, it's gonna pop out. We got it. Got our editors on ball.
Belgium in Group
us. We've got editors. It's brilliant. Professional outfit here.
Yeah.
What's the?
You can see in the comments. You can see in the comments. People are like, "When's Italy gonna get drawn?" Italy are holding all the banter at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Italy's players will be in like Aruba or Sharm el Sheikh during the World Cup. They'll be happy.
Bonucci will still be complaining. That's what's really going to happen.
Honestly,
it just shows you how bad England were that they couldn't beat Italy. Italy can't even beat North Macedonia. Rubbish.
Oh my god!
But
Is it
their
guys
national
like
anthem is
the
one of the
normal way
best.
that the winner of Group A is facing then the runner-up of Group B, and so on, or yeah.
Are they going to do that side of the draw as well? In terms, are they going to do like who plays who once you go through?
I don't know.
We can learn all of that
Case,
today.
we could say that England might be playing Qatar in the round of 16 or things like that, but I don't know if that's going to be the way.
Belgium are in Group F, so that just leaves Brazil and Portugal for Group G and Group H.
No mistakes this time, hopefully.
Oh gosh, it's not held by UEFA, so maybe not.
Yeah, for sure.
Who would be your worst group that you could get and the best group?
I mean, imagine a group of like Germany, Senegal, and like if you get like Germany, I need to see pot 4 again. I need to see pot 4.
Senegal,
I think Canada,
I've been very impressed with Senegal.
Canada the worst in pot 4, I think, to get for me. You know, the energy.
Cameroon maybe. Cameroon is also a strong side.
Yeah.
If you
maybe Peru that have to play against I don't know if it's Concacaf, which is the rival of Peru in the repechage.
From Concacaf, is it Costa Rica?
Yeah, Costa Rica,
Peru, and
or that Portugal. Okay, who's
Costa Rica in a playoff?
Let's see. Is it coming home or going Rome? Well, I mean, it went Rome, but it's not going back there.
I can clarify that the knockout round is Group 1. The winner of Group 1 against second in Group 2, and so it's Group 1 against Group 2 basically.
Group A and B, you mean?
Yeah, Group A and B face each other. So the winner of Group A faces second in Group B.
Okay.
Then the winner of Group C
Cam, we should have told people this earlier on, Cam. It shouldn't be up to Naz. We should have told the people this.
We said we're not doing our hosting duties well.
No, I think we messed that one up, man. But people can see my Shilliver shirt, which is nice. Yeah. That's the important stuff.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind England finishing second in Group B if Qatar get number 1 or Netherlands.
With Qatar.
Yeah, that's classic England. England always gets the soft draw.
Netherlands are with Qatar, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Pool A.
Pool A. Yeah.
You'll be happy with that, Callum.
Yeah, of course, I'm very happy. This the death pool that nobody cares about already.
So don't sleep on the home countries. We saw South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
Russia did really well 2018 as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Costa Rica in 2014, was it? Against England and Italy.
Who was
that? From Arsenal. He was really good.
Oh yeah, Joe Campbell.
Joe Campbell, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Joe Campbell.
Oh no, here we go.
Nacho, you look nervous.
I am.
Somebody said, let God bless the African team. Senegal, Cameroon, Ghana. Can't
USA,
forget.
England. USA,
Let's have
England.
Messi v Ronaldo. Is it
Oh,
possible?
mate.
I'm feeling USA, England. That's a great draw for England.
USA,
Oh,
England.
brilliant.
Oh, I love that.
That's
I
brilliant,
love
man.
that. The media around that is going to be crazy. Yeah,
Oh my god.
Oh,
that's going to be exciting.
I've seen what Argentina's is.
Sending home Pulisic going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
The LeBron James of soccer.
Yeah, it's going to be
Mexico.
great.
Mexico.
Well, against Spain then, or Group B.
I don't know. It's a good team, Mexico. It's always difficult. They did really well at the last World Cup. So
Reminds me of that that Rodriguez goal. Do you remember that against Mexico, Argentina?
yeah.
2016.
Yes.
England, USA. That is going to be that. England need to win that one. England need to win that one.
USA are really good, man. I'd be worried about USA if I was English. They've got such a good balanced squad these days. They're lacking a goal scorer. I know I say that about every team. They expected Ricardo Pepi to be the guy, but everywhere else on the field, man, they've got some of the best young talent in the world.
England have to, for pride, they cannot let them win when they call football soccer. You know what I mean?
We call football soccer in Ireland, man.
Yeah, that's why you're not at the World Cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we call it soccer. If you've already got another sport that's called football, you can call football soccer. That's the rule. Australia, Ireland, America, other places like that. You can call it soccer, no problem.
I don't want to be harsh, but I think that's the best possible draw for England.
You say that every time, and then you get knocked out.
Fine, so be it. Right now, I've got to live, in hope.
That's a tough draw. I think USA is a tough draw. People will be laughing, but no, USA is a good side. I mean, for them to usurp Mexico as the regional power. I mean, that's a huge achievement for them. They're a team on the
regional power, Pete. Canada finished top of the Concacaf division.
Yeah, they did, and they've got some really good players too. So I think they could surprise a lot of people too. I like their strikers. I like David. I like Lauren.
See that Denmark and France.
Don't forget Alphonso Davies as well.
There we go.
If he plays,
oh my God,
this is going to be. Are you afraid now? Is Spain?
Oh my God!
What is it?
I can't believe this. Oh no! Oh no!
I want to see your face, man.
Oh my God.
Germany.
Now you have to repeat. You have to repeat this. Sorry, you have to repeat this, Qatar. Sorry. This is the moment when you want UEFA to do this.
Here we go, man.
The group of death.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and in the last World Cup you had Portugal, so you're having tough times.
Oh wow.
That's good. You favorites knock each other out, man.
Yeah. That's a tough one for Spain and for Germany. Really, really tough draw.
Well, in the last match we won 6-0.
That's true. Good point. Was Jogi Low involved in that though? They're a different team now, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's not a real match, you know.
We thought Germany couldn't get any lower, and then they lose 6-0 to Spain. You know, we thought that was it.
A lot of people in the comments, they're bigging up Canada, saying Canada are gonna surprise people. There's always that one team that has that magical, everyone gets behind them, that romantic World Cup. It might be Canada, maybe. Won't win it, but might be a nice little story,
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the thing with the North American teams, USA and Canada. Like player development pathways are so much better than they were, and obviously they've got a World Cup to prepare for as well. We spoke about Qatar, the matches that they've had over the last 4 or 5 years. USA and Canada and Mexico too, probably they're going to be going all out to do well at this World Cup and show the world what they can do. So they're no slouches. Don't sleep on Canada. Don't sleep on USA.
I think this tournament for USA is very early though, isn't it? It's maybe a bit too soon for them, but I think on their day, the talent level is there. But they're very young, aren't they? Very young squad. So
Canada and USA are hosting, right? In 2026.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
USA will be at the peak by then, I think. But I think this one comes too soon. If they get through the group, it would be a brilliant achievement.
Ooh. Group H.
Okay, Uruguay.
So what have we got? So Belgium, Croatia was the other one, wasn't it?
Yeah, got Brazil.
Yeah, the two well-matched teams, I
Switzerland.
think, Belgium and Croatia.
Uruguay should be going to Group H, I guess.
Yeah.
Switzerland always tough. Also, they also have a good team. Well,
Portugal and
USA
Uruguay.
get pot two. How did USA sneak into pot 2 anyway? They should be in about pot 3, surely. Like, I'm just thinking about it.
These are the pots.
Italy's out, so that
they were pot 3, I think, USA.
No, they're in pot 2.
No, they're pot 2. They're pot 2.
They could just put Senegal or something, AFCON holders in pot 2 or something.
Yeah. Senegal in pot 3, yeah.
Senegal definitely toughest in pot 3.
I think there's only 2 European teams in pot 3, Serbia, Poland. I think, right, so we've got all the pot 2s out. Yeah, Senegal, the team to avoid in pot 3.
Yeah.
And Japan, actually. Japan are really good.
Poland.
Side.
Poland with Lewandowski.
Yeah, but that's all they have.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd
For me,
take
that's
that.
all they got. So what do we think so far? Group of death so far, I think there's no contest. It's Spain, Germany, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure, for sure.
Group H is going to be hard as well.
Well, Group H, yeah, that will be tough for both of them. Let's see what other teams completed.
I think Denmark are a tough second team. I like Denmark. They were brilliant at the Euro.
Yeah,
for sure.
They were robbed, I think, in the semi-final as well. An absolute disgrace.
Oh, that's what they think too.
Just happy that Eriksen is back.
That's definitely the Danish thing as well.
Yeah, they'll be up for revenge. Yeah, and it is, Callum. It's great to see Eriksen back playing too. Let's hope he makes it to the World Cup.
Yeah, he played in Amsterdam, back in the Amsterdam Arena, Johan Cruyff Arena, where he played at Ajax, and it was
lovely goal.
Yeah, well, yeah, and a lovely goal, but just him being on the pitch. Also for the Dutch fans, they were cheering to him. It was amazing. You get like.
Were you there?
No. I watched it on the television, but my colleague was there, and he said
great
it was
Iran Group B.
Iran.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Is that England? Is that England's group?
Yeah. I'm not saying.
Wow.
We'll see you in the World Cup final, guys. See you there.
How do they do it every year? England get a draw like this every year.
Yeah, it's always the same. They have a lot of luck with all the teams, all the rivals. Why?
Yeah, but it's great.
Like when England got Panama. Actually, I don't want to be disrespectful to no nations. Actually, let me not be disrespectful. But
no, Iran are they're a regional force. They've a good striker too now in Azmoun. I think he's with Leverkusen these days. He's a good player.
Johan Bach, but he now plays at Feyenoord really bad. But
he wasn't great.
Say that Spain played against Iran in the last World Cup, and that was really hard.
Yeah.
I know, Pete, you were hoping England got the group of death. I know you were.
No, it's funnier when they get a good draw and still mess it up.
Ooh, Senegal.
Ooh, is that in the Netherlands group?
Yeah, it's in Group A indeed.
Oh, okay.
Tough
Not
one.
so easy now.
Yeah. Any fast strikers against Daley Blind and no, bad news for us.
Yeah, I mean Senegal to me, they've got not quite a world class team, but I think they've got a lot of talent, especially through the midfield now as well. I was impressed with them at the AFCON, and they did well to overcome Egypt in the playoff as well. They're a good side. They're a good side. Koulibaly, Mane,
Mendy.
Team. Well, I was going to say world class goalkeeper as well. We spoke about Argentina having a world class goalkeeper. Senegal have too. Solid side.
I think Iran's going to be fun because USA Iran is politically sensitive.
Oh wow, yeah, indeed.
Poland. That's a good group.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting group. Yeah.
Where's Poland gone?
C.
C. Mexico.
C with Argentina and Mexico. Yeah. Messi
Alright.
against Lewandowski.
Yeah. That's
No, Lewandowski's
All-on-door
got something.
showdown.
Lewandowski could have a new club by then as well, so we'll see where he
Might
ends.
be United.
Could
No,
be.
he does this every 2 years. He's like, Bayern don't value me, and then he gets a new contract and he shuts up.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to be 34 this summer. He's not going anywhere.
Serbia,
wants-
Group E.
He wants 30 million a season, Cam. Like you, that's how much more money you're on.
I wish, you know what I mean? I wish if my employers are watching, you know. Lift it a little bit.
I think that's a nice group for Brazil there. Switzerland and Serbia.
Switzerland and Serbia, we'll have the return of the Eagle celebration, won't we, for Xhaka and Shaqiri? Remember that at the last World Cup?
Another politically sensitive group.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two good
God.
sides, though. I mean, Serbia are on the up as well. I mean, and they'll have Vlahovic, hopefully. If he stays fit, they'll have him playing up front this year. I think they're a good side too, Serbia. They're hard to beat. And obviously qualified ahead of Portugal. And Portugal have some really good players. So, yeah, the good collective identity, I think, at Serbia as well. So, no pushovers.
Yeah.
Let's see. These guys are on to Italy, man. Somebody said Italy are in Group L.
And Brazil, Serbia. I was at that game at the last World Cup. They were in the group together in the last World Cup too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both classified to the next round, I think.
Let's see. Thank
Switzerland,
God.
Switzerland knocked out Italy though as well, so you've got to give them props. Seem very solid, and I watched them play England the other day, and they caused England a lot of problems for 45 minutes. So Switzerland are not as they always seem to bottle it though at the big tournaments, though, don't they? Even when they have a good team.
Yeah, and they always have a decent team. You know, they're solid across. You know, they've got even like players like Zakaria, Akanji. You know, they've got some good talent. Brila Mbolo, I hope he stays fit. He's a great player. I really like him.
Yeah, he's a handful, man.
He's a handful, isn't he? Huge boy.
Yeah. Tunisia, so they're in the France, Denmark group, yeah.
It is group of death. Sorry for Spain.
Yeah.
France, Tunisia.
Yeah. Well, sorry for that. That is sorry for the Japanese people here. Sorry for that. But it's really tough for Spain for sure.
Spain
so France against Tunisia. So Hannibal will be playing against his homeland. You know, Hannibal Mebri from Man United.
My baller.
He switched over to Tunisia.
Yeah. He needs to get himself like fully starting though. Like they still have him on the bench a couple of times in the AFCON and stuff. So he's got a big few months ahead as well.
Yeah.
Getting into that United team as well. That'll be key, especially with like Pogba and these guys leaving.
You think Pogba's going to be going?
Yeah,
Probably inevitable.
Yeah. Pogba's off, man. Pogba's off.
Do you think that Hannibal's time to shine?
Let's hope so. He's been making noise in the academy for a while. Like we always look to him as that guy that's potentially gonna, be the one that breaks in. So hopefully he's the one that he does it, because United's academy players at the moment is up and down, but he actually looks like one of the special ones. So it's just hopefully he can. Men's football is a lot different, and we're not going to send him on loan. So let's see what happens. Really.
We haven't had a team drawn in a while, have we? Qatar.
No, yeah. You're behind, mate. You're behind. We've got to talk about Spain. Spain are with Germany and Japan.
That's definitely the death.
That's really tough on Japan, actually. I think they've been, they're quite a handy side, Japan. I know they don't.
Japan,
they're not really.
Mexico eliminated Germany the last World Cup, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Was it Korea at the last World Cup?
Korea, yeah. It was South Korea, yeah.
Yeah, it was Korea. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's true.
That Manuel Neuer came to the halfway line and did some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Japan, I know they're not the most exciting team to watch, but they've, I think, again, development-wise, I think they're on the right track. They got a decent
Japan
side.
always have like nice technical ballers though that Japan have good. Their
Sure.
teams usually have some decent technical ability, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Minamino, Liverpool, nice player.
Yeah,
Kubo,
Asano.
Real Madrid.
Kubo, yeah, man, wonder kid.
Morocco
Next gen.
gone into Belgium's group. Yeah, we saw
Yeah,
that.
that's interesting
Yeah.
as well. Lots of Moroccan people living in Belgium.
Yeah,
That will be
Oh,
a
really?
hard group too.
Nizar, your reaction to your motherland.
Give us Ghana, England. Give us Ghana. Let's get Ghana out of here. Come on, give us Ghana, please. Give us Ghana, man.
Yeah, Morocco, I think, Taha summed it up really. Need to get Hakim Ziyech in. Why have these great players and not use them? You know, if you had Ziyech, then you might be saying that Morocco's team is up there with the other two, but probably right now it's not. It's just a good, solid defensive outfit.
You would say Belgium as the top seed in that group would be quite pleased with that, won't they? Morocco, Croatia. It doesn't look too threatening at this stage.
Croatia are getting a bit old, aren't they? Similar to Belgium, I guess, but Croatia are getting a bit, the best players are getting on. Kovacic needs to carry the can a bit in the next tournament, I think. And
bring back Mandzukic.
Yeah.
But they've got really good centre-backs now. That Gvardiol, I think, is fantastic. And Chalette Sarr as well from Marseille. So I think they do have a good defensive, solid base these days.
Yeah.
Gvardiol
on Next Gen, just featured on Next Gen, didn't he?
Gvardiol, yeah. Not this year. I think he's too old.
Yeah, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Ecuador, come on, Group A.
Ecuador for England, maybe.
Ecuador, good.
Ecuador.
No, it's for the Group A. It's for the Group A, Ecuador.
Okay. No,
that's a good.
All right.
It's a good group for Netherlands. That
I think so. Yeah, I think we should be very lucky with this. Yeah, could have gone either way, but
I hope Wales make the World Cup.
Louis van Gaal is juichen, how he's pronouncing it.
How does he pronounce it?
Juichen, mensen. That's Louis van Gaal. Sorry.
Come on, Ghana.
We've got Korea in Portugal and Uruguay's group as well.
Yeah. Good side Korea as
Saudi
well.
Arabia.
England are definitely going to get Saudi Arabia, aren't they?
Mm.
Stop hating. Stop hating.
They got to wear gloves for those balls, man. They're so hot.
Some have been in the freezer, you know. Where did Saudi Arabia go then?
They're in Group C with Argentina.
Yeah. Okay, I'm happy.
That's a good group for Argentina. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Mexico, not what they once were. You know, Poland. I think everybody knows they're relying on one man, and Saudi Arabia. You know, I don't think even the most hardcore watchers of Asian football would say that Saudi Arabia are one of the best teams in Asia. So, no problem.
Yeah, I'm happy. Could have been much worse.
No problem.
Yeah.
And France have the intercontinental playoffs, which is that's Costa Rica, New Zealand for that group.
Costa Rica, New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. Which is in June, I think. So France, let's say Costa Rica, probably Denmark, Tunisia. France, very happy with that group. Very happy.
Spain, Germany, and Japan have got the other playoff.
Yeah.
Who's in playoff 2?
It's South American, isn't it? So
it's Peru, Australia, and Emirates.
Sorry, I made a mistake. So the Asian team plays Peru. So that's AFC against CONMEBOL, and then CONCACAF against OFC is the one that Spain gets. So
Spain
that's
gets
New Zealand.
the winner of Australia, Costa Rica, I think.
Or New Zealand, Costa Rica, no?
New Zealand.
New Zealand or?
Yeah, it's New Zealand, Costa Rica.
New Zealand, yeah. It's New Zealand.
Is New Zealand or New Zealand, Costa Rica?
Yeah. And then, so it's going to be UAE against Australia for the other Asian place, which would be
for the other one. That's true.
Yeah, so that's Australia, or who did I just say? Australia, UAE against Peru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Australia in the Asian qualifiers instead.
Is a cakewalk. Irishman talking like his nation is in this World Cup.
I'm a citizen of the world, Cam. All these teams belong to me.
Saudi Arabia are the best team in Asia.
England have got a spicy one. Could have Scotland.
Yeah, Wales.
So it's Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine for England. Is that right?
Yeah.
Local derby.
Bring Wales, man. I want to see Bale at the World Cup. Scotland haven't really got anyone I want to see. And
that's
you know
a tough draw for England, I think. That's going to be tough. You've got the emotions of the Americans, and then the same with Wales or Scotland. Scotland did a great job on England in the Euros.
They never really threatened them, did they?
It was solid though, rock solid.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like we've got everybody, no? Or
Not
three
quite
teams?
for me.
Not quite. Two teams.
Yes. Cameroon are in Brazil's group. Cameroon are in Brazil's.
It's a decent group as well. Brazil, Serbia, Swiss, Cameroon.
Yeah, you would say after Brazil, it's quite open for the rest of the teams. I know Cameroon aren't the most exciting team. They're quite boring to watch, but they could cause some trouble.
So it should be Canada in Group F and Ghana in Group H. That's the only possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that a replay of Ghana against Uruguay?
With Suarez with the handball.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was in. Was it in the group? No, it was in the. Yeah.
No, it was quarterfinals.
Yeah, quarterfinals. Yeah, but still, it's going to be massive.
Finally, revenge. What's that like? 12 years later, they'll get some revenge, and Suarez is still playing.
Yeah.
That was one of the most horrible things I've seen in the World Cup.
The Ghanaians definitely having PTSD right now. And I'm seeing Suarez again. No way.
They need to bring back Asamoah Gyan then.
Stoke the rivalry.
Yeah. I tell you though, they've got some Ghana have got some good some of the best young talents in attacking young talents headed into this. You know, if they can kind of come to fruition over the next few months, if they got that Jan that plays for Mourinho, and they've got Issa Haku as well, who I think scored a goal for them the other day. Good side, Ghana. Good improving young side, I would say. I know it's a bit of a shock that they beat Nigeria, especially for you, Camps, but good side.
Mate, when do Nigeria not lose, man? If Nigeria comes to this World Cup, they would have drawn us against Argentina as per, and that would be the only game Messi has that's a good one in the whole tournament as per, and then that's it, you know?
Yeah, because we played 2010, 2014, 2018.
Yeah, and don't forget the Olympics in 2004, was it? 2004 Olympics?
Yeah.
Honestly, always meeting each other. It got so bad that Messi ended up saying, like, I enjoy playing against Nigeria. Like, it's like a rivalry. I'm like, when did this rivalry? You're just beating us. This ain't a rivalry. This is one-sided. You know what I mean? Oh, man.
Wow.
Could be Hudson-Odoi.
Hudson-Odoi. We've got a complete draw.
Yeah, complete now.
Nice.
I was going to say Hudson-Odoi might end up at Ghana. Could be good. Hudson-Odoi in Ghana's colours there.
Is he going to declare?
I think there's a good chance he could switch over. So now they're in the World Cup, they can sort of tempt some of those English talents to switch to Ghana.
Let's see. We still got people that are going to come in to represent some of the African countries and USA and Canada, Japan. There's a few that we still got coming in. We're just going to get this table sorted, show everyone what the groups are looking like, and we'll talk about the implications of each draw. I just want to know who plays who, you know, when everyone goes through. I definitely need to see that.
The pathways.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the last 16, so we've got winner Group A, so let's call it the Netherlands, against runner-up Group B, let's call that England. or USA. Yeah. And then we've got winner Group C, which is Argentina against runner-up Group D. So that's going to be like, that's France's group. So Denmark, Tunisia, and the winner of the Asian CONMEBOL playoff. And then we've got winner Group B, runner-up Group F. So winner Group E is Spain or Germany, likely, against runner-up Group F, which would be like Canada, Morocco, or Croatia, probably.
Okay.
Interesting.
How are people feeling in the comments? How's everyone feeling about the draws? Who do you guys think, after seeing the draws, has it changed your mind, given you any feeling of who might win the tournament or who might be the dark horses? Guys in here, Argentina, Netherlands, England, Spain, how are we feeling about those draws? Anyone can go first.
I'm feeling good. I'll be entertained by that. It's on screen right now. The England group there, Iran, a team you'd expect to beat. Although, Pete says, they are a good outfit. USA, I know a bit more about them. Done a lot of work with them. We write a lot about the USA here at Goal in the English language. So, yeah, we know what to expect with them. They're a young team, though. So I'm hoping that England's experience helps in those kind of games. And then the last game in the group, though, I think that is actually a tough draw. You'll have Ukraine, fighting on emotion, and everyone will be supporting them and things like that if they get there, and rightly so. It'd be a brilliant story if they reach this tournament. But then you've got Scotland and Wales as well, which would be emotional games too. The rivalry, if you don't know, is quite big, especially, on their end, trying to get the bigger nation, trying to knock them down. So, they're always tough games, those, the home nation games, we call them. Premier League players against Premier League players, that's basically what it becomes. So, I think it's quite a good group for England until that last ball came out, and you're thinking that's probably the worst of the last balls, to go with a sort of an emotional UEFA game.
I think so.
Definitely. Somebody said, Raphael said, question for Cams: if Portugal win the World Cup, is that the undisputed GOAT for Cristiano? I mean, come on. I mean, if he brings home a World Cup, I mean, you got to just give him the GOAT title at that point, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's already a discussion. Between Messi and Ronaldo, in my opinion. It depends what you like, but I think those two have separated themselves. If Ronaldo wins the World Cup, undisputed, man. Undisputed.
Yeah. I have to admit, sorry, Cam, but if he does, it's harder for him to win it than for Messi, because Messi's playing a better team. So I have to admit that if he plays well during the World Cup and they win it.
There we go. We got Argentina himself.
Wow.
Listen, no defense of Messi. I'll take that right now.
I was thinking you're going to say something else, Nacho.
Yeah. Callum, how are you feeling about the draw, the Netherlands draw? Of course, with the teams that you've got, are you feeling confident? Are you feeling the same way that you felt walking into this tournament?
Yeah, well, Louis van Gaal already told us in advance, like the people, don't worry, we're going to have a good draw, relatively good draw. So again, he's right. So in terms of his predictions, we're going to have a good tournament. Tough to say, like Peter already mentioned, Senegal did very well at the African Cup of Nations. But Qatar, home country, can be difficult, but you wouldn't expect. So I think it's a very good outcome for the national team, for the Dutch national team. Yeah.
Nice. Somebody said Van Dijk to lead Holland to glory. Well, it's the Netherlands to glory. I mean, ain't this his first international tournament at 30 years old, and they're calling him the best centre back in Premier League history?
He played Nations League.
He played the Nations League. Yeah. Tournament in 2019. Yeah, we won against England.
We were there, Cal.
You were also there in the colourful stadium against England.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
I was brilliant, right? Yeah.
Did we not sit down and have dinner together in Porto, Callum?
I'm afraid not, but did we?
I think we did outside.
You really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
You were drinking too much, Callum.
I think so.
You were
Yeah.
off your head.
No, it's just not. Yeah. Well, it was all like blurry, and we had to do stuff. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Of course, it's true.
Yeah.
We were at also at the mix zone afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's when we spoke to. I think we spoke to Van de Beek and we spoke to Van
Exactly,
Dijk
yeah.
and Frankie De Jong and all those guys. Yeah,
Yeah. It was a blast. Yeah.
good tournament. It was a
Of course,
blast.
Peter,
Yeah.
Adama says.
Callum forgot me. Cam, I'm losing
sorry,
my
mate.
touch.
I'm sorry, mate. I was.
He almost left you hanging.
He did leave me hanging.
Yeah.
No.
I need to
I
work
don't
on my
know.
first impressions, man.
I thought it was.
Adama says Senegal will destroy the Netherlands.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I must say they have a good squad. They have a tremendous goalkeeper. So we have very bad strikers. But if Memphis Depay can reach his form, he has a good record. But yeah, we have Danjuma. We have it's Steven Berghuis. Who knows Steven Berghuis?
And Bergwijn and Berghuis.
Bergwijn, yeah, but he doesn't get much playtime from Conte. So
average.
Average. Yeah, well,
Luke De Jong. Luke De Jong as well.
Luke De Jong, yeah, when he scores a header, yeah, everybody's cheering. But yeah, no, it's average. It's not the best. It's not top level.
Yeah. So what about with the Spanish team? Talk to me. Looking like the group of death, as people are saying. Japan, Germany, Spain, and is that Costa Rica and is that New Zealand? Is that,
well, I think it starts. I think it starts really bad with that with Germany, but well, I think Japan is a good team with really good technical players, but it's I don't know, in the third or fourth in the level of if you have to take different stages for the teams. I think it's not in the best positions. And well, let's see the other rival. Costa Rica have a really good goalkeeper too. New Zealand, I think, will not have too much chances to get in. So I think it will be Costa Rica. Let's see. I think it's a good. Japan and Costa Rica are good rivals for Spain. I think he can get in the second round. Let's see that match against Germany. I don't know if they play the first match against them or the second one or the third one, but I'm confident. I have to say I'm confident.
Nice. So, guys, thank you guys for being with us during the watch along for the actual draw. We're going to bring in a few other contributors from different nations now. So good luck to everyone in the World Cup. Hopefully England win it, but good luck to the rest of you guys, man. And we'll bring in some others now.
All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers, guys.
Good luck with the show.
Best of luck.
Good rotation. Cheers.
And then there was just two. Now let's
Cam,
bring in.
Can you believe Callum forgot you had dinner with me? Insulting.
Oh, mate, you must not have been as charismatic as you are now.
I need to start working on my first impressions, Cam.
Yeah. Let's bring in Choco from Goal Asia. So we got Christian, Mexico, Ryan, US and Canada. And we got Sizway from Whole Africa. How are you guys, man? How is everyone?
Doing okay. I'm okay with that draw. I think it's going to be fun at the very least.
If somebody goes on mute while somebody's talking, so there's a little bit of background noise, that would be great. So I'll start with you, Ryan. Actually,
cool.
USA, drawing you out. England versus the USA. You feeling confident about that one?
I think the group turned out, about as well as you could hope for the US, not just in terms of, advancing, but obviously in terms of just storylines. Like, it'll be fun. Like, you look at the US playing England, and obviously there's so many connections there in terms of history, but also in terms of, how these two teams play. And that you have Christian Pulisic at Chelsea, you have Zach Steffen at Manchester City. You have Yunus Musa and Anthony Robinson, who both grew up in England. So, obviously they'll have that connection. So it should be a fun one. There's obviously a lot of history and a little rivalry between the two dating back, even to the 2010 World Cup. So it's pretty fun to have those two together.
I wouldn't mind Mason Mount just putting one in on Pulisic just before the call-ups, you know?
It's like a different version of Rooney and Ronaldo doing their little club battle against each other. So it's definitely possible. Who knows what's going to happen with those two?
Do you think, I mean, with the US team, you know, like there's always been a point where everyone's saying that eventually the US are coming. The US are coming, they're coming. Would you say like maybe now this is the tournament for the US to announce themselves to the world as like a future potential major nation in football?
I think it could be the tournament, but I think if you're going to bet on that one, it's going to be 2026. Just because when you look at this team, it's going to be most likely the youngest team in the tournament. The average age is like 22, 23. When you look at the starting lineup, it's basically a bunch of young 22, 23-year-olds, 19-year-olds. So obviously this is a team that's gonna have to learn a lot about what they're doing. You know, this was for a lot of them, this was their first World Cup cycle, and they're gonna have to adjust to playing at this level. So I think just the way the group draws out, this is a chance for them to make a run. It's a chance for them to have this coming out party. But I think, 2026 is going to be the one where they're going to look at it and think, all right, we can maybe make a run to win this thing if we could.
Yeah, and hopefully you pay for my ticket to that World Cup. Yeah,
it's going to be a big party here. Now I know we still have to get through this World Cup before we start thinking about how crazy it's going to be across North America for that. But yeah, it's definitely a big party. But first we got to see how they do this time around.
So with the US, of course, like the player that you mentioned him already, the player that everyone talks about is Christian Pulisic. You know, as they say, the LeBron James of soccer. You know, he's probably like his importance to the US team is probably like a Neymar of Brazil in a similar way. Is there like this kind of pressure on him to kind of like deliver? Because I remember you guys used to have, Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey and stuff, but there seems to be something like the US believe in Pulisic just a little bit more than anyone else has before him.
Yeah, he's obviously reached, heights that no other American has. Like, look, he's won the Champions League. He's done things that no other. He's played for Chelsea and Dortmund. He's played. He's done things that other Americans haven't done before him. And I think one of the key things that he's learned over the last 4 years is that he doesn't need to be Messi or Neymar, even though everyone thinks he should be. And that's kind of been the one thing that's kind of been that learning thing for him. And that for the first 2 or 3 years of this cycle, he was trying to be Messi. And that he gets the ball, he would run at people, and he would try and do things that he wouldn't necessarily try and do at Chelsea. But then you look at the group around him, and you have players like Weston McKennie at Juve. You have players like Gio Reyna at Dortmund. You have players like Yunus Musa at Valencia. You have guys who you can trust.
Aronson.
And that's Brendan Aronson, who's a guy that could very well start. And you have guys that can play. They could trust. They're playing in the Champions League too, so he doesn't necessarily need to do everything. And that's one of the things that's really grown over the last year in particular, and that you take this young group of guys and Pulisic and Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie, and they all kind of grew up playing together, and that they all rose through the youth teams together, and now they're 22, 23, and here they are going to a World Cup together. So I think that trust, you guys were talking earlier about France having that club atmosphere of people who know each other and kind of love each other and have gone through this together. That's kind of what the US is developing with some of these young guys who've kind of grown up together.
And I'm seeing all the videos on social media. They're all doing the gritty. They're all, the vibes look good out there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a fun young team. It's fun. That's one of the things that's one of the most exciting things that people feel about this group is that, one, like we said, 2026 might be when they actually grow up and come together. But when you look at it, there's reason to be optimistic. There are players playing at a level we haven't seen, and all of them, they're fun. They're all having fun. There's obviously a seriousness to it, but and they work hard. But there's some personality there. You look at like Weston McKennie with his Harry Potter celebration, Christian Pulisic, doing the gritty after scoring the other day. Yep, they're all doing the gritty on the plane the other day. So there's definitely some fun to it, and it's definitely an exciting group that I think will be feeling good about their chances going into the World Cup.
I watched in the 2014. I was actually in America for the World Cup, and it felt like, the coverage was just a little bit like, here and there. Since then, has there been like, more kind of centered eyes on football out there now? Like, are people actually buzzing, for this like World Cup?
It's definitely, a lot has changed over the last few years. mostly due to the growth of just the game in general, not even just the national team, just in terms of people watching the Premier League or watching the Bundesliga and Serie A. The game has changed a lot. And it's one of the unique things about being in the US is that fan culture here is different than anywhere else because everyone here kind of comes from somewhere else. So, my example is if you go out in New York City during a World Cup, you're going to see people from Ghana, from England, from Germany, from Spain, from Argentina, from Japan. So when you get that World Cup atmosphere, there's a lot going on, and everyone's kind of rooting for wherever they're from or who they belong to, but also kind of supporting the U.S. So it's definitely a unique atmosphere. And you look at, just like I said, with the way this team goes, is the last 4 years have kind of been about undoing everything that went wrong last cycle and proving that the U.S. hasn't taken a step backwards. And now that they are, going to Qatar with this young group of where you look at and you have hope for them to be better in the future, there's definitely a renewed sense of optimism about American soccer and that it's going in the right direction.
And just touching on, I know the US see them like side little brothers or whatever how they view them about Canada, but Canada finally got to the World Cup since 1986, their first one. It seems like they are absolutely buzzing out there. Do you feel that out there? What's the reaction to Canada finally, getting into a World Cup?
Yeah, it's something it's good for the game here, just in terms of North America to see Canada, because like you said, this is a team that, a decade ago was playing free agents in their national team. They were unattached. And now you look at the way that the team's built. You have Alphonso Davies is obviously, he's the guy up here who's the star, who's playing for Bayern and playing in the Champions. But then you have, Jonathan David at Lille, who's, going to be a multi-million-dollar signing this summer for somebody possibly. And you look at, guys who are making the leap over there. You look at, Kyle Aaron, guy who's playing for Besiktas, playing at a good level. Someone like Tejan Buchanan just went to Club Brugge as kind of that like stepping stone club to maybe go somewhere else. So it's not just the guys in MLS or guys who are free agents or guys who are playing in the lower leagues. Like, they have legitimate players who are giving them a reason to be excited. And, Canada soccer, look, they won, they won World Cup qualifying in Concacaf. They finished first, and that's not a fluke. They dominated for stretches of this run, and, they have a good system, the same thing as the US, where they have good young players who are buying into it and who are kind of growing into this together. So yeah, they're going to be a tough team to play against. Obviously, this might be another tournament too soon for them since it has been so long and they are so young, but they're going to be a tough team to go against.
Are you afraid in any way of Canada catching up to the US in football?
Look, hey, they won. They finished first. So, it's tough to argue with the results. Obviously, look, the US had the 2 trophies last year, and that's obviously good. But look, Canada played, when they played the US and Mexico, they looked good. They won. So it's tough to argue with results. But like, look, that's one of the things about, the US and Canada are both, seemingly going this way, which is really all you can ask, is that they're on the way up and they're doing things the right way. It's obviously such a different atmosphere than it is, say, in England or Argentina or Brazil, where the game is so like naturally embedded into society. Where you look at the US and Canada, and look, there weren't really academies 15 years ago. So the kids who are coming up with Canada in the US are the first ones who grew up with an academy system. And these are the first ones to have grown up doing it the right way. So obviously it's clearly working, and everyone here seems to be going in the right direction. But yeah, the game's still growing, and we'll see where it goes by 2026 and hopefully by this fall.
In regards to, the US and Canada, do you kind of, when you are viewing, what's going on over there, how do you feel about it? Because the US and US especially is such a competitive nation with everything they do. They dominate so much things. So do you feel like, the US eventually will maybe get to like England levels and stuff in football?
Yeah, definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt. I think, I suppose it's been a slow process probably. MLS probably took 25 years before it got to a good level league. The national team has probably taken 25 years as well. But I do feel that there's been an acceleration of the popularity of soccer within the US over the past maybe, 5-6 years. And it was a massive shame in that regard that they didn't qualify for the last World Cup, because I think that could have been the one to spark the interest, because that came right at the right time. And even when I was in Russia, I met groups of USA fans everywhere I went, because they'd already booked their tickets and they're ready to go. And they thought, hey, I may as well go because, hey, travel's booked. But they'd fully expected to be there. Now, the next 2 World Cups are going to be absolutely crucial, Canada are I would say a decent side. They're a good regional side, and they did really, really well, and quite surprisingly well to qualify top of the group. But for me, USA are a coming force, and Christian won't thank me for saying it, but I do think that they're going to become the dominant team in the CONCACAF region very soon, if not already. And the reason for that is I think that not only have they got a good collective identity within the squad, but as Ryan mentioned there, they're sending players at an increasingly young age to Europe. And I'm not talking about, the way USA players used to go to Europe before to play for like mid-level teams, maybe in Germany or in England. They're at Barcelona. They're at Juventus. They're at the very, very top clubs within Europe now. They're at Chelsea, European champions, and they're in the Red Bull system, which is, the best player development system in Europe right now. So I think if they can uncover over the course of the next few months, I think they need probably solid centre backs. I would say they're maybe short there, and they need to really start getting goals out of Ricardo Pepi. Now, I think he's got a lot of potential as a centre forward, but bringing people into play, yeah, that's all well and good, but they need somebody to put the ball into the net with a bit of regularity. But for me, USA are well on the way towards becoming a major international soccer nation. Sorry, Christian.
No. Yeah, go on, Christian. Can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Maybe it's the AirPods. No, he's not on mute. I think it's the AirPods.
It's the AirPods. What's up, man? What's going on?
Hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
we got
Can you guys hear me now?
I said we agree. We agree. I think Canada and the United States have this project that Mexico doesn't. Mexico seems like always improvising in the region. But I think it's a good thing for the CONCACAF that United States and Canada grow their level. So Mexico feel that competition that didn't feel before. So I think it's a good thing for all the zone.
So how are you feeling in regards to Christian? How are you feeling in regards to your draw? I know you believe you got Argentina, Poland, Saudi Arabia. Can you see yourself getting out of that group?
I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. Mexico usually go to the World Cup as an underdog team, and we like that. We went to South Africa against France, and we win against Brazil in 2014, and we draw with them, and against Germany and Russia, and it's one of the best games that Mexico have made in a World Cup. So I think Mexico team feels comfortable in that situation. So against Argentina, we have history. We like that. 2006 and 2010, last 16, it was tough for Mexico. So we want that revenge.
Yeah, you're out for revenge. I respect that. So who should we expect? Like Mexico, usually there's always a player that does well, like it catches the eye. I remember you had Giovanni Dos Santos and you had Javier Hernandez, and was it the goalkeeper in 2014?
Ochoa.
Ochoa. He surprised everybody. Who should we look out for Mexico now?
Well, Ochoa is in a great level. Still is 36 years old, and he is still in a great level. He's going to have his 5th World Cup, I think. You can put your eyes on Chucky Lozano from Napoli. He was the hero against Germany last World Cup. Tecatito Corona in Sevilla is surprising everything. And Raúl Jiménez in Wolverhampton, he had this, unfortunately,
head injury.
And he came back, and he hasn't been the same, but we have faith on his capacity. So that attack trident, it could be dangerous for all the rivals. Edson Alvarez, I love Edson Alvarez in Ajax. It's not, I think it's not very spectacular, but he's a rock. He intercepts every ball, so you can put your eye in Edson Alvarez. I'm sure he's going to do a great World Cup. And he went to the last World Cup with only, 19 years old. it was a very tough moment for him, but now you can take him like a leader, like a captain. I think he has so much personality. So take note, Edson Alvarez.
Nice, and thank you for the insight. And is there do you put yourself in that dark horse category? Can you surprise people this World Cup?
Always.
Love that. Love the energy.
They call it the curse of the fifth match, don't they, Christian, in Mexico?
I don't know if we are achieving the fifth match. That it's a thing, a very a big dream that we have. But I think in the group stage we are going to do it great, like always, and then we can see, because the next rival should be France, thinking that Mexico could advance as the second of the group. So against France, it will be tough.
Yeah.
Nice. And I know, Choco, I know you've been waiting, and I know the time out there, it's ridiculous time out there. What's the time in Japan right now?
It's almost 3 a.m.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just need a strong sake after this draw.
Pete, why didn't we bring her in the beginning?
Hey, you're the boss, Cam. You're the boss, not me.
That's okay. That's okay.
Not only do we have sympathy for you in regards to the time out there, but we actually got a bit of sympathy for you for who you've been drawn with. You've been drawn with Spain, Germany, and of course, who's the last one? There's Costa Rica. Well, that one hasn't been sorted yet. But how do you feel now that you've been drawn in the group of death? How are you feeling about that?
To be honest, like, of course, we wanted to avoid that, but also, like, I'm kind of excited play against those like a strong two team, because now we have about like 70% of the Japanese national player plays in Europe. And also in the past, like, we've often been like too nervous, like against a world-class player like Fellaini or Drogba. Like we got like kind of beaten like in the last minute and stuff. So unlike the like a past World Cup, I think we are decent with defense, like, including like Tomiyasu playing Arsenal and Endo, who's playing Stuttgart, and also Itakura, who's playing a Schalke. So I think we're pretty decent in the defense this year. But yeah, it's so nervous, like playing like those two strong team, really.
Yeah. I mean, so would you say, like, when you were going into the tournament, what was the feeling in Japan, in regards to walking into this tournament? Was there confidence? And do you think now, after seeing that group, it's completely gone the other way?
Yeah, we're pretty confident because, like, in attacking wise, we have like many players playing in Europe, like including like Kubo, Furuhashi, and also Taki playing in Liverpool. So we're not really like kind of scared of like, walking to the World Cup. It's more like, we can be challenger in our group. So also like in Asian qualify, like, we have like many European players who needs to travel over to Asia. So confident, like physically, like it was kind of tough schedule, but we qualified like a really hard Asian tournament, like qualified. So, in a team wise, we are like pretty confident as well.
And is there, I know you mentioned a few names, but is there somebody that, we should all be, looking out for? I know you mentioned Kubo. He's a great young talent. Of course, we're familiar in England with Minamino, but is there somebody that, that just the same way Christian, he let us know a few players. Is there somebody that maybe that the masses might not be aware of that could surprise people, have a great little tournament?
Yeah, I think like Endo, he's like decent. He's not like a tall player or like, physically big player, but he knows how to control the 90 minutes of like playing. So he's like one of the player like I want you guys to like look out for. And yeah, of course, like those like are Celtic players who's playing like overseas now. They're getting like a super confidence playing overseas, like against like a big player, like more than them. So you'll be like an interesting group, definitely. Like, we're not like scared or anything. And
Nice.
of course,
So, Choco, can I ask, before the draw, Japanese football fans might expect what? Second round quarterfinals? Do they think they're at that standard internationally?
Yeah, I think so. Like, we definitely want to like, qualify and like, want to achieve like our, because like we our best like our World Cup like a like World Cup was the best 16, so we want to like of course achieve like more than that. So yeah, like hopefully like we can like stay longer in this World Cup.
Yeah, they're really happy. The Celtic fans are so happy, especially with Kyogo. Ange Postecoglou, obviously, who you'd know because he spent so much time in Japan as well. I think he's settled in those the Japanese players really well at Celtic. So I think, Minamino and Kyogo would be the two players I think, and obviously the Arsenal guy as well. Those players would be the ones that British fans, for example, would be most familiar with.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like,
yeah, go on, Choco.
Oh no, it's okay. Like, I mean, like it was the kind of hard news for Japan. Definitely, we were like kind of expecting like getting in a little bit more like easier group, but at the same time, a little bit more. But it's great for Japanese audience to see like world best like players, against like Japanese like a player against like world best players. So it would be like a great time for us, definitely.
I know you also got a strong kind of connection with South Korea. What can we expect from South Korea also? I mean, we all remember the 2002 World Cup, and they went far. It might have been controversial, but it went very far. What would you say this team is capable of, and can they repeat that?
I think so, because like definitely Son Heung-min, like he's leading the team. And he's like a world-class player. He's like the most like a best like a player in Asia, definitely. And also like they have like a quite few your player who's like a playing overseas as well in Germany, or like there's like a Fan Unju in the Bordeaux, like in France as well. And their physical strength is like one of the like strongest, definitely, and they are also strong like in the balls and the like mentally strengths as well. Like 2002, like they are like beating like strongest the team. They didn't really scared of playing at those teams. So of course there was like a home advantage like at that time, like, but still like they beat it. So like they're mentally like strong, and I think like they'll be like in a best like 16 or 8.
Okay, so you fancy them to get out of the group with Portugal, Ghana, and Uruguay, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. And lastly, just moving on to the African nations that will be representing. I know you've been waiting a long time. You're the last one. you're the last one. But how are you? First and foremost, what nation do you think is going to represent Africa the strongest at this tournament?
Booyah, is probably our best chance of ever winning a World Cup is this one. I have a feeling it's Africa's time. Africa's time has really landed, and I think it's right now. It's probably the first internet World Cup as well, a new day, and probably destiny is shining on Africa. We've got two teams that are ready to compete. That's Morocco and Senegal. I think tournament-wise, they're probably the most tournament-ready teams in the world right now, barring the talent and who's a star in what team or what league. But in general, in a balance, I think Senegal and Morocco, I think we've got two strong teams to represent us quite strong. But definitely the strongest and most ready, I think, player for player, is Senegal. I think Senegal can play one-on-one with any team in the world right now.
And they've got a kind group as well. Ecuador and Qatar, along with the Netherlands. I mean, Senegal would probably look at Ecuador and Qatar and think, we've got no inferiority complex against those two teams in particular.
That was my tweet. That was my tweet. As soon as that draw was done, my tweet was Senegal get the best chance to take a shot at the World Cup. That was my tweet immediately, because I feel like it's a group where they can basically warm up into the group stages. You know, they can play a strategic game. They can be themselves, because bar for bar, they're probably the strongest team in that group, man for man. You know, so they can go in there confidently without the pressure, you know, and just warm into the knockout stages. So win the first game, you get it out of the way, you know, and the rest can happen as things go.
Yeah, and decent midfield as well. But not only, aside from the decent midfield, they probably have a world-class player throughout the middle of the field, all the way down the middle, from the
I was
goalkeeper,
gonna
centre
say,
back.
I think, yeah, I want to say up front, without any hesitation, I think we've got the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Senegal have got the best goalkeeper on form, and I'm not talking about reputation, where he comes from, who he played for before this. I'm talking about form in the past 2 years. I think Mendy has probably been the most informed goalkeeper for national team and for club in the world. So if we're gonna talk just right now, I think probably the best goalkeeper in the world definitely is from Africa.
Mm-hmm. And then you know, I'm looking through the squad list, but also, you know, watching them at the AFCON as well. You know, players from Bayern Munich, players from Napoli, players from Milan now, players from Paris Saint-Germain, like all representing Europe's top clubs, and not only like squad players. Well, maybe in the case of Buenos Aires, a squad player, but important players at top European clubs.
And playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Key players, making things happen. I mean, Mane is probably the face of this World Cup right now, in my opinion. You know, you can go to any continent right now. Everybody knows Sadio Mane. You know, if you're gonna talk the team that's everybody's talking about, it's Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp. They've got Salah. They've got everybody's watching Liverpool, and Mane is starring in the team that's being watched by everybody in the world right now. You know, and then 2 opportunities to be a deciding player, right? In the AFCON, he kicks the deciding penalty, and now in this qualification again, in the thick of things and making things happen for his team and being the difference. So I don't know where else to look for a player that's been in the headlines as much as Mane has been. I can't find it anywhere in the world. I feel like Mane is making headlines each and every time. He's doing something good for the community, and then he's being a champion, and then he's scoring goals, he's providing, he's being a good guy, you know, asking the team not to celebrate because he beat his own teammate, Egypt, you know, while everywhere else, every African player that went back to their team, they were celebrated. But Mane said no celebrations out of respect. You know what I mean?
You need to be on Mane's PR team or something.
Mane's hype man here, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you could get Mane to Real Madrid.
He's looking for the contract to write the autobiography. That's what he's doing here.
You know what I mean? Literally, you can get him a pay rise, 100%.
It's facts.
So,
it's facts. It's facts. I mean, it's the Internet World Cup, and everybody knows how to spell Mane. I mean, it's simple.
Tell us, Sizwe, about. I think I was quite surprised actually that Cameroon finally qualified for this World Cup. I don't think they're a particularly good. I don't think they're a particularly good team. They don't impress me really. You know, I think there's better teams within Africa, but Cameroon are there now. So tell us a little bit about what you think about them. Tell me why I'm wrong.
They did it. And how they did it. How they did it.
Amazing.
I mean, the drama. I mean, guys, you have no idea how painful, you know the joy and pain of the World Cup. The joy and pain, because Algeria.
Well, I'm Irish, so not really.
Algeria have no clue. Like, if they had to replay that 9 times out of 10, they would have made a different decision, right? But this one moment, they made, you know, a decision that it's unbelievable. And I think if you I'm a romantic guy as well, you know. I'm from Africa, you know. We appreciate tales. We appreciate spirituality. And what's happening in Cameroon right now, you know, the head coach is Rigobert Song, right? The president is Samuel Eto'o, right? And you just feel like there was a script that was written somewhere, and it said Cameroon have got to be part of the story of Qatar 2022. You know, how they did it, they just had to be there because there's no better story, you know, than what's going on in Cameroon right now. Former players taking charge of the confederation, you know, and shaping it, you know, getting everybody in. I mean, they also had a decent AFCON, you know, they're a decent AFCON, you know, so the indomitable Lions had to be part of the story because you can't have this World Cup without Samuel Eto'o, right? Rigobert
And,
Song.
Cameroon have given us some great moments in the World Cup as well. When
Yeah,
you think
definitely.
about
Yeah,
Roger
we played
Miller,
against them. We played Cameroon in 2002. Patrick Mbama scored against us.
Yeah, El Hadj Diouf, that's where he announced himself to the world, you know, obviously Roger Miller. So Cameroon has some
El Hadj Diouf is from Senegal, my friend.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Hey, my bad, people. My bad. Sorry, Roger Miller is what I was trying to talk about. But yeah, they've given us some iconic moments. So it's decent history in this tournament for the African nations. So it is important that they obviously, I'm a bit gutted that Nigeria ain't there and stuff, but it's good to have strong nations out there. And judging from your pitch sale for Mane, I'm guessing that is the person that you think is going to be the outstanding African player at the tournament, because there is a lot of talents that are missing out. You think about Salah and Mahrez and Osimhen and, you know, names like that, but you would say that Mane is the outstanding one for this tournament, or would you say there's somebody that maybe could surprise everybody? You know, Abu Bakr at Cameroon, and there's loads of different players, but do you think it's going to be Mane?
Look, the poster boy right now currently is definitely Mane. I have a feeling. There's something that will surprise us within the Black Stars of Ghana.
Yes.
You know,
are you going to talk to us about Issa Haku, the young guy from? Is he playing in Portugal? He's only like what, 16, 17 years old.
I mean, can you go ahead and continue this conversation for me? Because I just feel like
I need the expertise from you.
Yeah, I just feel like, because I just feel like it's exactly what you're saying. Like Ghana, I feel like there's gonna be 3 or 4 players, right, that are just gonna pop up somewhere. You know, Freddie. I mean, I'm gonna give you just a couple of examples. Freddie Adu has got Ghana heritage, right? Right. So there's I feel like there's gonna be another 17-year-old, 18-year-old popping up in Germany.
Was that Freddie Adu? Did you say he didn't amount to anything though? You know what I mean? He did. I wouldn't really, you know, 13-year-old and all of that.
At 12.
Yeah. Literally, football manager icon. But other than that, nobody goes that far.
Just think about this. If Hudson Odoi decides to play for Ghana, it will be a similar situation which happened with the Boateng brothers, right?
Yes.
One of the Boateng brothers, because within Ghana, there's about 3 players, like, you know, 3 players that could make the team tick, right, and just click like that, that are missing, right? If they find those 3 players by chance, or somebody converting from a different nationality, or like a wonder kid somewhere from Holland with Ghana heritage, I feel like there's going to be something like that, because the people in Ghana, we hosted a space for the 2 legs against Nigeria, and you can feel like the people from Ghana feel like the talent pool has not been extended enough. You know, and I feel like
the squad went quite stale for a few years, and it was like the same guys, and it just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. You knew who was going to be a striker. You knew who was going to start. You knew who was going to be the center backs. Like with Ghana, you usually had about 20 to 30 players who were key players playing somewhere in Europe. You know, and right now,
do you think now that they've qualified, they'll bring in? Do you think Salisu from Southampton will play for them now? Because he's a great player, but he's never played at senior level for Ghana.
Exactly. And I feel like they're gonna be making those type of pitches now, right? to a bunch of players, because for sure the big cry is that there's no talent within the Ghana system right now. There's about 16 players who are maybe good enough, but not top class. There's no top class Ghana talent to speak of at the moment. Everybody is potential, and then there's the veterans,
the old
right?
guys. Yeah.
And also, there's a big talk about the veterans also, that some of them have got to be left behind.
The AU brothers, leave them at home.
You have no idea. The country is split in the middle about the AU brothers.
Yeah,
they are split in the middle, like literally in the middle, about whether to continue with the AU brothers. And sometimes you just have to remind the guys that it's only been about a few months where the AU brothers were not on top form, but for many years they carried the Ghana flag. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Jordan Ayew is one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I love Jordan Ayew. I mean, I love Jordan Ayew. I love him. I love him. You want to see what he does on the ball, off the ball. Watch him in the stadium. He is so selfless, so diligent. If he was Irish, he would have 100 caps.
Yeah. Defensive strikers, man. There's too many of them in today's game.
He never scores, but who cares? I love him. I love Jordan Ayew.
Yeah. There's also Tariq Lamptey, but I understand that apparently he might have rejected it. Daniel Asare in the comments says that Lamptey and Salisu rejected the call to play. But maybe
but it's a World Cup now. It's different, isn't it?
It might be a different proposition. I mean, think about the right back spot for England. It's going to be hard for Lamptey to break that down when you think about how many top quality players are there. But just a final one for you. How far is an African team going to go? So whichever team that you think is going to go far, is it Senegal, Ghana, or Cameroon? But how far are they going?
Look, man, I think we have the strongest Tunisian team that has played in a while, in a long time. There's Tunisian players in some of the most technical leagues in this world, in the world right now. And I don't mean top class leagues. I'm talking Belgium. I'm talking about technical. There's a lot of Tunisian players that are spread out across Europe, even in Tunisia as well. Right? I think we have a very strong Moroccan team that's tournament ready. Right? If they can sort out their attitude issues, their egos, right? If they can sort out their egos, but I think they're the most tournament ready. I'm talking about you make a substitution, there's going to be someone who steps up from the bench, and then I think we've probably got the strongest African candidate since Eto'o and Boa's Cameroon 2002 maybe.
Yeah.
I think we've got the most Africa ready to dominate team in Senegal right now, because man for man, I think
yes. How far is Senegal going? How far are they going?
They're going all the way, man. Come on, man. Come on. If there's no time, it's right now, man. It's the Internet World Cup. It's the one to win, dog. It's the one to win. I mean, imagine Mane on those posters. Come on. Yeah. Come on.
Ryan, Christian, how come you guys didn't rep Mexico and USA like this?
I'm taking this off right now. Go Senegal.
Yeah. We're going to Senegal now. If that's the way it's Senegal, that's the way we're going.
Play of the tournament and the world champion. That's Mane, man. That's how he's sitting, dog. Come on.
Like I said, when you're in the US, you find people from everywhere watching the game. I'm going to find some Senegal fans to go watch with if this is the way that we're going to be going here.
100%. And David, I know you just jumped in again. What did you jump back in for, David? We already spoke to you earlier.
He wants to talk about the AU brothers.
France have got easy draw. I don't get. What do you want from us,
mate? I just find this whole live stream super cute. Like literally, all your guys are just like, oh, we wishing. Oh my God, we got Germany. That's so bad, bruv. Come on, rep your nation. We going all the way. I mean, it's easier for us because we're France. I
was just going to say it's easy for you to say. My team hasn't even qualified. Who am I going to hide?
I can't understand you lots. I can't understand you lots because us, nah, we're going all the way. Have you seen the group? Come on now. We're going all the way. Like, I'm not scared about anything, about anyone. Like, literally, France, we there. We there. We got backups of the backups. We got players on players. Like, literally, like, I just feel relaxed and happy. I just can't wait.
What do they say? Is it Retourner la coupe de la maison?
Ramener la coupe à la maison. The music video is right there. Allez, les bleus, allez. Yes, come on.
I love that song.
We got good players. We bring you good football, good goals, as well. We give you bangers. Come on. We're gonna have a new banger. We broke the cup back again, and you're gonna play it at Christmas dinner this time. So
MHD, is it MHD? He's home now as well, isn't it?
He's home as well. MHD's home as well.
Wait, but how good would the Drake song be if Canada wins, though? Like, how hard would Drake go if Canada made a run? Like, he's sitting there writing bars with, like, Alphonso Davies' name in it right now. Like, he's trying to figure out how to get Jonathan David into a song this very instant. So,
literally, Canada just makes me laugh.
But how good is Sweet Caroline though? Sweet Caroline.
Keep it civil, Camps.
Hey, lastly, as everyone's here, last question for everyone. Actually, I'll go for everyone. Who is going to win best player at the tournament? And this is for everyone in the comments as well. On the last question for everyone watching, thank you for everyone that's been involved. Who's going to be the best player? Who's going to win the golden ball of this World Cup? I'll start with you, Pete.
Okay, you asking me for golden ball first?
Golden ball. So golden ball is what they call the best player, not golden boot. Golden ball, best player
for best player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? And I've been a hater in the past, but I have something about Brazil this year. I just have a little feeling about Brazil. I think their strength in depth, their options that they've got. So for me, I think Brazil are going to go all the way. And in that regard, I'm going to stop my player hating and I'm going to say Neymar.
Ooh. Legacy tournament for Neymar.
Legacy tournament, man. He's got to put it down now. He's absolutely got to put it down. He's got one chance left. He's not going to play till he's his mid-30s, this guy. We know that. You know, he's full of injuries. You know, we don't know if his heart is in it with PSG anymore. I think he's going to look at this and think that this is his legacy-making tournament. Get up there with Dino. Get up there with R9. Get up there with Rivaldo. Get up there with Kaká, all those guys. He's still a step short for me. I know he's won the Champions League and the Copa Libertadores, but I think this is it. It's all on the line for Ney at this tournament. So I'm gonna go for Neymar.
We're getting a lot of Mbappe in there. Some said Eriksen, Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Vlahovic.
Excuse me, Harry Kane. Did somebody say Harry Kane?
Hey, Harry Kane's gonna score goals against Iran and especially against USA. You know what I mean? So
tell me how he did how did he do in the Champions League final? How did he do in the Euros final? The man's a ghost.
Hey, yeah, that's true. You got a point there. You got a point, Christian. Who have you got best player at the tournament?
The safe answer should be Mbappe, but I think Pedri is gonna have a good World Cup.
Pedri. Okay. All right. Yeah, he dominated he had a very good Euros, young player of the tournament to take that next step. Yeah, that'll be
bright future too.
Yeah, very, very, very much so. David, who we got? Best player.
Best player gotta be Mbappe. You know they already love their kid. They love their kid. And their kid's gonna bang goals and goals and goals and goals. So it's gonna be for him.
Fair enough. Ryan, who we got? Best player.
My heart really wants to say Messi, and just that if this is the last time we see Messi on this stage, like how incredible would it be to see him go out and finally just ball out and do it? But yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with him. It's really hard to not say Mbappe just because I think he is just too good, man. Like he's just the best. He's the most fun player to watch in the world. And look, like this France team is built for him to succeed. So as much as I want to say Messi, I am going to say it's probably going to be Mbappe.
Fair enough. Mbappe is dominating. When you get that much pressure, you don't really deliver. You know what I mean? So I hope everyone's not jinxing him. And finally,
finally it's going to be you, Cam. We're going to come to you finally. We're going to come to you finally.
Oh yeah, me. Oh, okay, cool. Let me think.
No, you
Everyone's
have to
saying
think
back.
about it. Let's get Caesar in first and then come to you.
Yeah, Caesar, you go. Let me think about it.
You have to think about it. Oh man. I think it's a Mendy player of the tournament, World Cup. I feel like while the focus is on goals, I feel like Mendy is gonna do. You know, even in the AFCON, we had about 4 goalkeepers who were competing for the best goalkeeper. You know, 2 goalkeepers from Egypt, from the same team in the same tournament. They produced probably a possible candidate for goalkeeper of the tournament. Of course, Mendy. We had Cameroon. He's got depth for days at goalkeeper level. So I feel like the focus will be on goalkeepers this year, and I think Mendy is going to take the spotlight. Guys will score goals. They will do amazing things on the pitch. Messi will be Messi. Mane will be Mane. Whoever will be whoever. But Mendy, I think it's Mendy's World Cup. They owe him one like they owe Lewandowski. You know. So all the goalkeepers know. You know, this is the best goalkeeper in the world. It's just the people who vote, they vote however they vote. And I feel like while everybody is waiting for goals and excitement up front or in midfield, I think Mendy will say, you know, goalkeepers are the 11th player.
Fair enough. Control the midfield, you win the game. Calvin, this you must be from Leeds.
Shout out to Calvin. We love Calvin in Leeds. We love Calvin. His picture's up everywhere. We love Calvin. Shout out to Calvin.
ADB, nah, not for me. I don't fancy Belgium to go too far. You know what? Because I've got Brazil as the winners right now. My mind might change later, but I would probably say potentially Neymar. But I also think maybe Thiago Silva. You know, or just a defensive performance. I think if they get to the final. He's had a lot of going for him. He's also somebody he's played in a lot of tournaments and he's had a great career, and it will just be a good kind of legacy thing for him. Everyone is kind of appreciating him a little bit more because he's coming to the Premier League at such an older age and he's doing so well. So he's got like a new light on him. So I'm gonna go because you said Neymar. I'm not gonna say Neymar. I'm gonna say Thiago. I'm gonna say Thiago Silva for player of the tournament. That's what I'm gonna go for. And that's that.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line.
So, guys, listen, it was amazing for you guys to be staying in here. Everyone that contributed as well. Really appreciate you guys being in the stream. Lots of fun. I'm sure we'll do some during the World Cup, before the World Cup. We'll all link up again, I'm sure. And again, everybody that was watching, thanks for staying tuned. And let's see what happens in the World Cup. And thanks a lot. And we are out.